bad, a bit of good, a bit of bad, yeah. Love 'em hard and leave 'em fast. That's what you get with a space truck and nomad. There's a price on my head. They wanna bring me in alive or dead. Wanted man, renegade. I roll the dice 'cause I'm not afraid. In this life filled with fools, sometimes you know you gotta bend the rules. You gotta fight to survive. Do what you gotta do to stay alive. Black and white, day and night. The wheel turns round and round. Loser, winner, saint and sinner. Never know what'll come around. A bit of good, a bit of bad. A bit of good, a bit of bad, yeah. A bit of good, a bit of bad. That's what you get with a space truck and nomad. A bit of good, a bit of bad. A bit of good, a bit of bad, yeah. Love 'em hard and leave 'em fast. That's what you get with a space truck and nomad. Bit of good, a bit of bad. A bit of good, a bit of bad, yeah. Bit of good, a bit of bad. That's what you get with a space truck and nomad. Bit of good, a bit of bad. A bit of good, a bit of bad, yeah. Love 'em hard and leave 'em fast. That's what you get with a space truck and nomad. Bit of good, a bit of bad. 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 Bit of good,
Again, crazy how time flies. When I wonder if the path is in the right direction, but I do believe things come to light by accident. When your name's on, sounds like it's meant to be.
Wake up, the freeze made when things fall apart. What matters at the end is how you left the mark. Fire in my soul, fire in my heart. Till you see on the other side of stars.
Oh, the journey starts from where we did first step. No one's sure what lies ahead before it breaks. Cause maybe, profit
don't care about the odds. We laugh in the face of gods. We don't back down. We stand our ground. We stay true. Yeah, we see our faces in our dreams. We hear the sound of a million screams. Close your eyes and say your prayers. Open your eyes and we'll be there. We're here ready to fight. We're gonna light up the night. Gonna give you all you can take. We're gonna make your whole world shake. We're here ready to roll. We're just about to lose control. Coming at you with all we got. We're ready, so take your best shot. We don't hide from our fears. For the fallen, we shed no tears. We take the pain, use it to make us stronger. Oh, can you see each and every scar? They're all part of who we are. They never fade. Every day they grow longer. We see your faces in our dreams. We hear the sound of a million screams. Close your eyes and say your prayers. Open your eyes and we'll be there. We're here ready to fight. We're gonna light up the night. Gonna give you all you can take. We're gonna make your whole world shake. We're here ready to roll. We're just about to lose control. Coming at you with all we got. We're ready, so take your best shot. Dancing on the edge of a knife. In the balance hangs your life. Better look in front, better look behind you. One of these days, we're gonna find you. We're here ready to fight. We're gonna light up the night. Gonna give you all you can take. We're gonna make your whole world shake. We're here ready to roll. We're just about to lose control. Coming at you with all we got. We're ready, so take your best shot. We're here ready to fight. We're gonna light up the night. Gonna give you all you can take. We're gonna make your whole world shake. We're here ready to roll. We're just about to lose control. Coming at you with all we got. We're ready, so take your best shot.
Yo, welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Hey, why the fuck is the fucking text there all fucked up there? What the fuck? What in the goddamn is going on there? Huh. Well, we're gonna have to fix that right away. We're gonna have to fix that right away. Yo! Are you guys ready to see if Marathon's gonna actually be something? Oh, man. How y'all doing? I have not slept. I just couldn't go to sleep. Okay, so the chat's fucked up, I'm seeing here, so I'm gonna hide the window for a quick second so I can get this fixed. Because that needs to get fixed right now. That's no good. Sony trying to resell Last of Us again, challenge level impossible. They didn't sell it for $110. Dude, it's so fucking ridiculous. I honestly think it's more fucking milked than Skyrim at this point. It's fucking crazy. It's really insane. And here's the thing. It's a collector's item, so supposedly you're getting like 4 original posters and a comic, right? And like a unique steelbook. I'm like, okay. Why not just sell that stuff separately for people who want it instead of selling the entire thing with the game for $110? When the most diehard fans who'd buy this already likely have the game. You know? Hey, Giovanni, why crowd toilet? I don't know. Why not? Okay, give me a second to fix the overlay, because something is not right here. So, let's see what's going on here. So, let's change the color to white. Right? Yeah, that should be good. Let's see if that does anything. Let's see. Because I don't know why the chat's like blacked out. It's supposed to be yellow and it's not like... Huh. What is happening here? You know what? Let's try... We still got time before the stream, right? So like let's just figure this out, right? Let's just make it a little bit in the background like that. Right? Just for now until I get the clear thing set up. That should work. If the rumors about the new part of the game is true, holy shit, we're so fucking back. So, here's the thing about that. I would love for that to be real. My issue is 2 things. 1, Radical Entertainment's dead. So, who the fuck's making this? And 2, if it's not, you know, those guys, then I'm gonna be honest, I think I'd rather it be a remake. Honestly. Because it's less chances for them to fuck it up, you know? There we go, that fixed it. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Look at that. We did it. Let me just shrink it down and move it over so we can get the names a little cleaner. Okay, good. Everything's working. Perfect. Alright, I think I figured it out. This stream's gonna be weird because, like I said, I have not slept since last night. I just haven't been able to sleep. I just have not been able to sleep. Oh! Hero culture for the 5! Oh, good, your late grew back. Come here, I'm hungry. Hey, listen here, you little shit. Listen here. Also, what the fuck happened to my fucking money? Money. Oh, I gotta fix that, don't I? Fine, I'll do that later. I'll do that later. I'm not in the mood right now. Thank you for the 5, good sir. I appreciate it. Hey, I think the devs behind the Last of Us port, the PC port of Last of Us Remastered made the port bad on purpose. I don't think that. I think they're just incompetent. I think they're just incompetent, honestly. Because they fixed it, as far as I know, pretty fast. Like they put out a patch that helped a lot of people's performance issues like pretty fast. So I honestly think it's they're just incompetent. Id Software would be a good choice to get a prototype game. I don't know. They do first-person shooters, and prototype's not really that. And also, they're busy. They were busy with Doom: The Dark Ages and probably the DLC. So I don't think they would have had time. So it's definitely not them. Now, if Microsoft like reformed Radical Entertainment and are now, and that's what this is, and that's cool. But like I said, I don't know. I want Prototype back, but not in the hand. Like, I don't want a DMC Devil May Cry Ninja Theory situation, you know? That's what I don't want. That's what I'm worried about. Because Prototype is a very specific kind of game. Same, I only got like 2 hours of me. Jesus, Delta, don't you have work today, or are you off? Oh no, you see, I think you said it's your weekend, right? But to go into further to your questions, Giovanni, I really didn't really give a good answer. So I want to start making the stream a little more animated. I want to make it a little more pop. And my friend drew these two things as like a joke last year, I think, on April Fool's, right? Or I think he did it as like a whim, right? And then he just sent me the fucking PNG. He's like, hey, do whatever you want with it. You can make it animated. I was like, yeah, if I figured out how to do that, sure. Then I found out about a website called Fujitech, which you can use to sort of like create this stuff to, you know, respond to your voice. But as you can see, it's kind of limited because the mouth stays open when I'm talking and then closed when I'm not. So I gotta figure out. So like this is kind of like the first step. Now I basically I'm trying to revamp my streams to make them a little more worth your time, basically. Right? Because that's my whole thing. I'm going to be streaming a lot more because of my actual job, right? Especially because now I'm starting to get more shifts again. So, like, streams are probably going to be the only way going to get content from me. Like, for example, starting Monday night, I'm going to start doing a thing called Monday Night Monster Hunter. Where I just fuck around on a random Monster Hunter game for like a couple hours every Monday night. But we'll have to see about that. I just got off work about 2 hours ago. Damn, dude. I'm hyped for the Doom Dark Ages. Oh yeah, so am I. I can't fucking wait. I absolutely cannot fucking wait. Dude, fucking I'm gonna be subbed to Game Pass for a fucking while because this month alone we had South of Midnight, which I'm going through right now. I'm really enjoying it. And then we got Claire Obscure, Exorcist 33. I think on the 23rd, right? I think the 23rd, yeah. Then there's something else that got announced that's coming to Game Pass this month. I don't remember. But then there's Doom the Dark Ages in May. And then we got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4 in, I think, July, right? So it's like, man. They're fucking pumping out shit, man. Oh, excuse me. Still got 22 minutes. Stream is whatever the fuck that word says. I can't read it. I can't fucking read that shit. Ooh. So many good games came. My wall is crying, dude. That's why I'm thinking. That's why I'm saying thank God for Game Pass. A lot of games I want to play are thankfully going to be on there day one. Like the only games I really have to buy upcoming are Elden Ring, Night Ring, and Death Stranding 2. Like, those are pretty much the only two games, really. Because Doom the Dark Ages and Claire Obscure are going to be on Game Pass. God, what the fuck? There's another game, but I can't remember. Hold on. I'm just going to look up. I'm just going to look up real quick what's coming to Game Pass in April. Because I know there's a third game I'm forgetting. Games coming to Game Pass. Here we go. Yeah, Towerborn doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really look like anything to me. Okay, so I have the full list. Let's see. Dark Ages, Ninja Gaiden 4 in fall, which is no surprise. I thought there was another game. Doesn't seem to be. Huh. Maybe I'm just going crazy. I'm probably just going crazy, honestly. I am fucking not. Like I said, no sleep, so. You know, already bought the Doom Collector's Edition helmet? Nice. Bought Expedition 33 on CD keys for $35. Yeah, that's probably gonna be one of those games where I'll start playing it on Game Pass, and then I'll probably just buy it because I'm like, it's worth it. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4 is Giovanni, yeah. That one obviously is like when it releases, right? Because like we don't know when that's coming. Just fall. All my hype for Nintendo dies. Real shame. Looking forward to new games. Hey, you know what's funny about that? The only game that they showed out that I give a shit about is Metro Prime 4, and that's a cross-gen game. So I'll be playing that on Switch 1. Because it's probably going to run at 60 FPS regardless. No, I'm not talking about the Oblivion remake, because that's not real. Anything from Jeff Grubb's mouth, I always just immediately disregard. I swear to God. The Oblivion remake's coming, guys. No. No, it isn't. Like, I'd love to be proven wrong, but here's the thing. I feel like if they were working on an Oblivion remake, they wouldn't stealth drop that shit. Because Elder Scrolls is too big of a name to do that. You would fucking market the shit out of that. You'd be stupid not to. But then again, Microsoft has made some baffling decisions lately, so who the fuck knows, right? Yeah, no, Metro Prime 4 looks great. Don't need to Switch 2 for it. I'm gonna be part of the problem with Nintendo. Flame me all you like, you can't stop the same way. Hey man, you do you. All I'm saying is, you know, if you buy those $80 games, you lose the right to complain about any price increases. That's all I'm saying. Nah, but whatever. It's just no big deal. Like, honestly, with the whole Nintendo situation, it's not even the price of the console I really have an issue with. I think $450 is actually a fair price for a hybrid, you know, handheld home console. That's the power of a PS4, maybe PS4 Pro, right? Like, I think that's actually a fair price. It's just everything around it is just disgusting and awful. I hate it. Oh yeah, Switch simulation will be within the year. But he already said Titanfall 3 isn't happening. Well, I know everyone. Here's the thing. We didn't need Jeff Grubb to fucking know that. Everyone knows Titanfall 3 isn't happening because they have their cash cow with Apex Legends. Why would they take time away from that shit? And just basically that won't have as much lasting effect because Titanfall is a more traditional classic multiplayer game. Right? Like, I've already accepted the fact that we're never going to get a Titanfall 3. I'm just happy that they fixed the servers for Titanfall 2. The fact that it's playable now makes me not really care if we ever get a Titanfall 3. Because that was the biggest problem. Was that, hey, Titanfall 2 isn't playable. You guys aren't fixing it. Where's Titanfall 3? But then they finally got off their ass and fixed it. So now it like, hey, whatever. I have Titanfall 2. I'm a happy crowd as far as I'm concerned. Also, hey, shout out to 21 viewers right now at 10 a.m. Especially a fucking surprise. That's crazy. Is Metroid Dread good? Metroid Dread is fucking excellent. If you haven't played Metroid Dread, I would highly recommend you check that game out. Empty cartridge, downloaded digital games, one of the gayest decisions ever, not to mention the price. Oh yeah. I think Fritz said it on Twitter, and he's super right. Like, this is Nintendo's way of getting you ready to not own your games. Or I think he said more like going all digital, right? Because what other reason? But then you also get the weird things where it's like, this is clearly a up to a developer thing. Because, for example, Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk's coming to Switch 2. And they're managing to fit that entire game on a 64 gig card. Right? Entirely. But then you're telling me Square Enix couldn't fit the Bravely Default remaster onto that shit? That's a 3DS game. The remaster's can't be more than at the most 11 gigs. What the fuck are you doing? You know? It's weird fucking things like that are just really annoying to me. Only should load screen a bit too long. That's because you're playing on a Switch. When you're playing on a silly little emulator with a NVMe SSD, that shit loads super quick. turn on the air. It's starting to get fucking spicy in here. Hello, Light Shadow Onyx. Welcome to the stream. We got about, I think, yeah, 15 minutes till we get to see the thing. Okay, so there are some. Here's the thing. I'm sure people who follow me know this already. I was an avid Destiny 2 player. Destiny player, even. Like, I was with the game until, you know, since the beginning. Right? It's where I met a lot of my close friends I know today and still talk to today. So it's one of those games I can never really hate. But throughout the 10-year journey I've had in that game, whenever someone asked me, I want to say past, I'd say Taken King. I think Taken King is when I adopted the sentiment. And that was when someone asked me, hey, should I get into Destiny 2 or Destiny? I would tell them no. Right? Like I love FF14. I would tell people to get into FF14. I love Warframe. I tell people to get into Warframe. I really enjoy my time with Destiny and Destiny 2. I would never tell people to get into it. It's one of those things, right? So when I heard that they're revitalizing Marathon, a game that, admittedly, Marathon is before my time. I did not grow up playing Marathon. I did not know what Marathon was. When I first heard of Bungie, I heard of Halo, right? That was my thing growing up. But when I heard that they were, you know, reviving it, and they were making it an extraction shooter, I was immediately turned off. I was like, I don't want this shit. I'm so tired of, bad extraction shooter games, right? Whatever. But here's the thing. I think there are two avenues they can take with this that'll make me interested in it. One will be if there is this actual single player campaign, right? If that's there, that's one avenue that would get me interested. The other avenue would be if instead of taking inspiration from the shitty extraction games like Tarkov or Call of Duty DMZ, if they took inspiration from Hunt Showdown. So for people who don't know what Hunt Showdown is a PvPvE extraction shooter by Crytek. It takes place in a sort of like alternate 1889 century, right? And you're basically in like the southern south dealing with like southern bayou stuff, right? Now, here's the thing about Hunt that kept me and all my friends engaged. And that is, unlike Tarkov, unlike DMZ, and the myriad of other, like, extraction likes, right? Is that there is, you earn currency, right? Like, in-game currency is really easy to earn in that game. And when you're in the main menu, you are able to buy hunters with like preset loadouts, and you're able to buy weapons. You're able to buy better weapons based on your level, and as well as gadgets and things to bring in with you, right? Obviously, if you die out in the field, you'll lose that shit. But the mere ability to basically gear yourself up at a low level when you're sufficiently leveled made that more enjoyable and better feeling to play, instead of something like Tarkov, where if you lose everything, you got to go out there with nothing and just scavenge. That shit just sucks. So if they're not going to do a single player campaign, if they're smart, they will adapt what Hunt does, because Hunt is a good evolution of the extraction shooter genre, because it has a sense of progression that you as the player keep, even if you die and lose your hunters and the gear they have on them, right? So like my friend uses the oh my god, I can't even remember the name of the rifle, but there's a really good fast firing rifle that he uses. It's a high tier weapon, and because we played so much, he can ensure that he always has that, right? He can ensure that he always has that in. Dude, they didn't even give you free silver in Destiny. No way to giving us free currency to anybody. Well, here's the thing, Delta. There's the free currency and the pay currency, which is also what Hunt has. So Hunt has the in-game currency, which is easy to earn, and that's what you use in the shop. And then you have Hunt dollars, which is the premium currency. That's what you use to buy skins and things like that. And Destiny also had a similar thing with, there was silver and there was bright dust. And bright dust was easy to obtain. Like, I think before I stopped playing Destiny, because like I said, once I beat Final Shape, I was done, right? I was like, I'm satisfied I don't give a shit where this fucking stuff goes. And everything I'm seeing of the new episodes, like the new story, but who gives a shit, right? But I think I was sitting on total, I think like 25 to 30k Bright Dust. And I wasn't even trying to farm that shit, you know?
Our full reveal to go ahead and show you some marathon gameplay live here from Bungie HQ, but we actually have the distinct privilege of being joined by a pretty solid contingent of the marathon development team in-house. So in addition to some of the folks we're going to be talking to on stage here in just a little bit, we wanted to take the opportunity to get to introduce you to just
Jacob.
a few of them here before we kicked off the show. Now, first things first, someone who's been here at Bungie for a little bit and someone who is also
Giovanni, Destiny's one of those things where you had to be there from the start, honestly.
But Kevin Giannis,
like, I don't, like, all my friends who I played Destiny with from the start to beginning, we all started at the start, you know? Like, most people I know who got into it later, especially in Destiny 2's lifespan, they just didn't, they just dropped off. Yeah, current Destiny's not old Destiny, yeah. And that's the thing, I actually really miss the visual aesthetic of 1. Hello, Spectre!
And with Marathon, we're adding tech shooter elements to it. To really increase that depth and mastery that people expect from our games. So I'm excited to see how everyone reacts to that.
Yeah, now we're going to get to see a lot of that soon, but we're also going to get to see, you mentioned you get to work on the runners. Can you tell us?
Because I also know, like, let's be honest too,
yeah, sure.
The gameplay of this will probably be good, because Destiny, the only other game I played that even feels even similar to Destiny's gunplay and as satisfying, actually is a game called Witchfire, which is a single-player extraction shooter game, which is actually pretty. It's in early access right now. I'm gonna do a video on it when it fully comes out, but that one actually, the gunplay feels almost one-to-one.
Doing great. Thank you for asking. That's so nice of you. For folks out there that may not know what it is a senior engineering lead does, what do you do here at Bungie?
Yeah, I make sure everything works. So, like, if something doesn't work, Kevin comes and calls me, right?
Yeah, no PSN login required, which makes sense. I don't think Destiny ever required that. So
I mean, it's a huge undertaking, obviously, here working in.
That is a good sign. That is a good sign. It's like, good, you're not going to require PSN login requirement. Good shit.
That people haven't seen yet, like stuff that can happen.
Oh, confused Cabal with the 129 Mexican pesos, I believe.
I'm really nervous.
Grab, have some cash from Marathon Cosmetics. And yeah, Destiny's dying a slow, painful death because Bungie's brutality really used the IP. Yep, thank you, sir. And yeah, no, 100%. Oh, definitely needs a Bungie login, Jacob, 100%. Which is, that makes sense because there's going to be there's probably going to be cross progression and cross save. So having that would just make it easier.
To show off a lot rather today here in just a little bit, but what are you most excited for people to see?
Yeah, but well, the other reason Destiny's dying is just because they don't. There's nowhere really for the series. Like honestly, the only way I get back into Destiny is if they just do Destiny 3, 1,000 years in the future, full reset, new characters, new fucking Guardians, like basically a brand new, like almost like a reboot, right? Where our Destiny 2 hunter is basically a legendary hero, right? Because that's the whole thing. Is that you know, the whole tagline of the game was become legend. By the end of Final Shape, we became legend, like quite literally. So there's really nowhere for our current state Destiny 2 characters to go, I would say. You know, like really nowhere to go unless you like fully expand God's future, completely new solar system.
Final prep now, everyone. So we'll be back in just a little bit on the other side with some marathon gameplay. Don't go away.
That's also true, Arcana. They also just could be lying through their teeth. That's the problem too with modern day Bungie, that they're not fucking clear sometimes. But I feel like the PSN login, I feel like if that was required, that would have been posted immediately. Honestly, I think that's the one thing that we can trust. Because Sony would have fucking promoted that shit, you know? And defended it, because like they always do. And hey, shout out to 28 fucking live viewers. Crazy for a fucking surprise stream that I wasn't planning on doing. Did they do Destiny 3? Did they need more Racing 3? So yeah, I agree with, you know what, Red Hood, you know what I want to see? What I want to see is the 3 humanoid types, right? So human, Exo, Awoken. But then I want Elixni and Cabal. Or just Elixni. I want to be a weird alien creature. I want to be a goddamn fucking Elixir. Come on. You fucking cowards. I think they already re-released the originals. I think I have them on Steam because they released them all. They released the first 3 games for free. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I'll actually play through them because they look, at least Marathon 1 looks very old. Like in the way that System Shock 1 is like, this looks like before the System Shock remake came out, I was like, I'd rather just watch a recap and then play System Shock 2 because System Shock 2 is a substantially improved game, you know? I mean, I'd call these updates like official re-releases. I don't know, that's just me though. That's the other thing too with the potential Destiny 3 is that, like, at the end of Final Shape, you know, we get that whole like fusing of light and dark, and it's like that breaks the game in a good way. That felt good, but it's like I would be more curious to see how that would have developed through 1,000 years, right? Where we have Guardians who are naturally attuned to both light and dark, right? Like that could open up the floodgates for much more interesting and dynamic fucking abilities. So I feel like that would be a more interesting idea to pursue. I'm just praying a third marathon is retcon. Well, that's what. Here's the thing. That's assuming this is even going to have a story. That's the other thing. Like I said, that was Avenue A where we get a single player campaign, but I don't know if we're even going to get that. 3 minutes. We got 3 silly little minutes. Third game's a dumpster fire? Damn. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Light Shadow, yeah. I was talking about, you know, like how, like, A, who's developing it, because it can't be Radical Entertainment, and B, I think I'd almost rather it just be a full remake, because there's less to fuck up with a remake compared to a new entry. Hello, Femtonga! Last night's stream was fun? Yeah, it was! It's always, dude, I love Marvel Rivals. I don't know how often we'll play that on Salt Shakers, because that's a very competitive, like, lock-in focus thing, right? But you know, always fun. I am glad I got the other guys to actually play it. Excuse me. Hey, Crab. Hello, Blast 1314. Yeah, the music's pretty good so far. I do like the music. Also, why didn't Halo have a double barrel shotgun? I doesn't really matter to me. It's futuristic, so like, they wanted to go all like tech stuff. Yeah, Klutzy finally saw the light. Yeah. Oh. We're getting close. God damn, Jacob. Happy early fucking birthday. Holy shit. 34. Damn, bro. I'm gonna switch to my full screen so I can get the full picture. I'm gonna have chat on my phone, so I'll still be able to respond. So don't worry about that. You got Garo to say he was wrong about Marvel Rivals. Now when I read that high, I thought, yeah, dude, it's crazy how good Marvel Rivals is, and I think it helps the fact that everyone's just a little unbalanced. Here we go. The first new IP in 10 years. Hey, Vanguard Tonight's been a member of the Crustacean Nation for 20 months. Thank you for the support, my man. Welcome.
All right, everyone, hello and welcome back to Bungie HQ here in beautiful Washington, where we're coming to you live with the opportunity to share a little bit of marathon gameplay with you for the very first time. My name's Andy. I work on the social media team here, and we've got an awesome show lined up for you with a little surprise at the end that you're going to want to stick around to. So make sure to go ahead and not tune out early. But
yeah, that's probably
no
going to be
worry,
the closed
you're not gonna have to
alpha
sit here and listen to me. I'm
code.
joined by some of my teammates here at Bungie to walk us through some of what we're going to be seeing today. So no time like the present. Let's
My
get to
guess
the
closed
show.
alpha is going to start
First
today. I'm
things
going to start
first,
handing out
this gentleman
codes.
here to my right, to your left, is Marathon's game director, Mr. Joe Ziegler. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Super excited to finally show something about our game. You know, we've been a little bit silent for a while, but we're hoping you'll have a lot of fun today.
Yeah, we'll have another video in addition to one of just you in your office hanging out.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I won't be talking for like 20 minutes straight this time. I promise, yeah.
So for anyone out there that may not know you or what you do here, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
I work with a lot of amazing people. Some of the people on this stage, a lot of people who are sort of in the audience here today. My goal is ultimately to take sort of all the ideas that we have, bring them together into a singular experience, and help to deliver that experience as a single thread. So, just love that.
Thank you very much for being here today, man. And
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. As we go on down the line, we're also joined by a man who's been instrumental in bringing the worlds of both games and film to life, our franchise art director, Mr. Joe Cross. Joe, how's it going? Joe, for anyone, obviously you've got some fans here, but for anyone out there in the audience at home that may not know you or doesn't get a chance to work with you, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do here?
Yeah, so I'm Joe Cross. I'm franchise art director of Marathon. And my job is to sort of set the tone and the vision, the visual style of this, reimagine this IP and this amazing game. And then, make sure that our world-class art team is set up for success.
Well, I am digging the aesthetic, so he fucking did his job right.
Paving the way a bit.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Of what little
We're
we've
gonna have
seen.
a lot to dig into today, so thank you for being here as well.
Thank you.
As we go right on down the line, we have, without a doubt, the most important Andrew on this stage here today, our gameplay director, Mr. Andrew Witz. How's it going, Witz? Witz, for
Yeah,
anyone out there
Delta,
that may be
you
just
can
meeting
kind
for
of
the
tell
first
he's
time,
not
can you
used to
tell us just a
being
little bit about
in
yourself?
front of
anyways,
crowds.
I'm the gameplay director. What basically means is I had to work with a bunch of awesome people to set up what the survival sandbox of Marathon is going to be. So that's runners, weapons and equipment, and the combatants, the UESC. They're going to be hunting.
We got 30 years,
players on
Cobb?
House City, so
I've been on
yeah,
Salt
up to
Chickens
the
the last
gameplay
3 weeks.
team.
What?
Thank you all, sir, all your work.
And of course, last but exceptionally not least, someone who you've probably seen in Bungie Vidocs in the past, and someone who's been able to help guide design here at Bungie since Halo 3. The one, the only Mr. Senior Design Lead here, rather, the one, the only Mr. Lars Bakken.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lars, we're back.
You could say Marathon's back.
You could. I'll leave that to you, though. Well, for anyone out there in the audience who may not get that reference and is just meeting you for the first time, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you do here?
Yeah, my name is Lars Bakken. I'm a senior design lead on the Run team. Shout out to Run team, everyone that's out there right now. A lot of fans out there. So the Run team is consisting of, we make the maps, so the zones that you're going into. We make the activities, so we take some of the cool stuff that Andrew's team, we remix it.
So
We add the
he's
UESC in,
the
we
sandbox
make 'em
designer.
real difficult on purpose. And then we also have the contracts team, which are the factions, the corporations that players are sort of doing deals with because they're mercenaries. And that gets a little bit down into sort of the missions and everything. And so that's the stuff hopefully make everyone proud with.
Well, we'll get into that here very shortly, but no, thank you all for starters all for being here. Before we get started as well, a quick reminder, do yourself a favor, make sure you've got your Bungie and your Twitch account linked to make sure you don't miss out on the Twitch drop that's going on right now. And if you also
I'm
go
watching
ahead
on
and
Twitch,
subscribe
so,
to any
no.
channel in the Marathon directory, you can get a special little cat badge next to your name to go ahead and show everyone that you were here today. So go out there, find a streamer you haven't found before, and make sure and drop a sub out there and share the love. And also, if you have dropped your sub here on Marathon the Game, worry not, that money all goes to the Bungie Foundation, so thank you for helping us help them do some good out there. And now we have a big show again lined up. We've got some gameplay on the way coming up very shortly. We had a chance to go ahead and work with some creators and press very recently, and we're going to show you what they thought of the game. And of course, again, I'll repeat myself, but we've got something really great for you at the end of the show, so make sure and stick around. But again, the purpose of today is to show off some gameplay.
Yeah.
I'd love to hand the mic to you for this next part.
Yeah, so before we get started, obviously there's a lot to talk about today. We have a little bit of a taste to show you about what our game is about, just to kick us off, so we can put some images to what we've been talking about here. So let's take a look.
Looks like you can set traps just like you could in Hunt.
The end of all things. But the dream is not over. My dream. Yours. Now. Run.
Oh, wow. We actually got a release date. September 23rd. Okay. I actually was not expecting a release date today.
Everyone, first things first, you saw that correctly. Marathon will be releasing just later this year on September 23rd, so you'll be able to ship out to Tau City very shortly. And in addition to that, coming just later this month on April 23rd, we're going to be running a closed alpha test that you can be a part of. Now, as a quick heads up, this is going to be focused on North America, 18 plus only. So there's going to be a big chance to play up front, but don't worry, there's going to be other opportunities to play later. So to make sure you're caught up with all the details and you're ready to go, do yourself a favor, head over to our Discord at discord.gg/marathonthegame. And of course, if you're here in Twitch chat with us today, then you've already done yourself a big favor. Members of our community and moderation teams.
I mean, it looks like Destiny with Marathon, just new with new art style and extraction shooters. Get it. It isn't bad, but I need to see more. I need to see what else you guys have besides that.
Exclamation point drops or anything you need to do, though I'm sure folks will do it anyway. But worry not, you've gone ahead and done yourself a favor.
Like, you need to give me a reason to play this over Hunt, basically.
What did we just see?
A lot of death, you know, is first what we all saw. But honestly, you saw a first glimpse of some of what's going on in Marathon, you know, our extraction shooter that we're creating over here. And it's got a little bit of everything. It's got some runners in there. It's got some weapons in there. It's got some crazy stuff happening, but yeah.
Yeah, a little taste of the weapons in there. You saw some alternate weapon actions. The flip scope is in there, so weapons are going to do more than just shoot, obviously. It's a Bungie game. We got to, like, really push things. Yeah, a lot of runner abilities are in there as well. The UESC, obviously a little taste of the UESC and what they're capable of. Yeah, a lot of awesome stuff.
And some fun world interactions too. Like there's that sequence where the shutters go down and then everything goes wrong for the team that's in that room. But that's, yeah, it's pretty cool to see those things.
Yeah, everything goes wrong, the Andy Salisbury story. Mr. Ziegler, so why are we making Marathon? Why is Bungie going into the extraction shooter space?
I mean, extraction shooters are something that are passion of all of ours. Like, we really like the idea of bringing this experience that we've all enjoyed, which is this kind of intense survival-based experience where you are frequently unsure of what's going to happen next, but you're on that adventurous ride of it. You know,
they haven't shown much, Plussy. We basically got a sort of like a supercut.
See if you can survive it.
Sort of like trying to detail what you can expect. Like I'm trying to decipher what's in it, but I need to see more in-depth stuff.
To others to it, and so you can have a bigger party with it, and so yeah.
It looks all right so far. It looks like a Bungie game, basically.
Lars, obviously, Bungie's got a long history of shooters, but this is a new type altogether for us to dive into. From your side, what's it been like designing for all of this?
It's been fantastic. So when I started at Bungie, it was on the multiplayer team, and I am a competitive person in my nature. I really enjoy PvP, and so having to take that in the Marathon game and think about every single angle of every design, knowing that there will be other human beings in, around, and on the other side of it has just been fascinating and really exhilarating for myself personally, and I also know for the team.
It's been really exciting to see. And you know, obviously, you mentioned we saw a lot. We saw some runners. Mr. Witz, can you do me a favor to help introduce these 4 runners?
Yapping. This has kind of been par for the course for Bungie. They've basically done their VDocs and their stuff like this for like years now.
We're focusing on the core 4 here. They're going to be in the alpha. So going left to right, we have Locust. Locust is our soldier kind of fantasy, our soldier kit, all about push forward gameplay, right? The first one in, trying to get as many picks as possible.
Yeah,
right?
he was the one with the shield, I think they showed.
Players. Next, we have Blackbird. It's a very reconnaissance-based kit, all about like figuring out where players and enemies are in general and punishing poor positioning. Glitch is like our agile disruptor kind of kit, all about pushing forward, disrupting enemy teams and what they're doing, and getting out and kind of having that kind of cycle. Void is our stealth boy, our sneaky boy, all about throwing down smokes, going a full active camo cloak. Into the darkness, getting some reses, and then taking some people by surprise.
Void's probably going to be the one that's most played for like solo players.
A lot of different playstyles to choose from out of the gate. And even furthermore, Joe Cross, also, if anyone's not following Joe Cross on Twitter, do yourself a favor and do so. But you've been sharing some art with these runners pretty recently out there on Twitter with everyone. You know, before the show, we were talking a little bit, and I've heard this come up a lot, but you know, you guys have been working off of this concept of graphic realism. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is and what that means for the design here?
Yeah, it's one of our ingredients that we've sort of conjured up to help us define the visual world. For these runners, you know, the first thing we wanted to make sure was their visual fantasy reflected the gameplay fantasy well. And then we sort of have our you know, unique recipe of influences and inspirations for the reimagining of this world. And one of those sort of constraints we've created is this idea of graphic realism, where we kind of reduce the amount of geometry, we limit our materials, we use a lot of graphic design and color, and we sort of use it as a tool to onboard artists who are working on the project. And then it doesn't hurt to have a world-class concept team cranking this stuff out. And that's sort of the origin of a lot of these designs.
And you know, obviously, the world of Marathon has so much legacy to it as well. You know, as a kid who grew up playing it, I know it well myself. But like, what's it been like stepping into this world?
It's amazing. Yeah, for art geeks out there, the sort of the father of the Marathon visual world in a lot of ways.
Man, putting those next to each other really shows the difference in design philosophy.
Then got incorporated into the IP officially by Bungie, and so his legacy looms super large. And we've always tried to, you know, pay attention, pay homage, make sure we were doing justice. And you can see here in the center, this is kind of a proto-runner we developed early in the process to make sure that, you know, our sort of approach to graphic realism and style lined up and sort of represented that. And then on the right here, sort of an evolution into one of our actual runners here, Blackbird, with a similar fantasy and composition. So I think it's working out well, and I think we're, you know, doing something new, but also sort of looking back.
It's like a
I don't
3
think
panel
comparing it
study
to
on
the
how to
old
hold
games
the
art
spine,
style was
right?
a smart idea.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Yeah.
All that's gonna
This
do
is
is
fine.
make people question
I don't
why
know.
even bother
It could
calling
be.
it Marathon.
Excellent. Well, that said, if anyone out there in Twitch chat as well has any questions, go ahead and drop them in. We're going to try and answer as many as we can. We're going to be showing, again, a lot of stuff today. So if you've got anything that
How
comes to
long
mind,
is this stream
please
going to
feel
be?
free to throw it in there.
I didn't
Folks on the
like.
community
I didn't
team are
actually
gonna be
look
keeping
it
an eye
up.
out,
How
but,
long is this supposed to
you know,
be?
we've obviously got a chance to go ahead and dive a little deeper. We've done some telling. Let's go ahead and do some more showing by taking a bit of a deeper dive into some more marathon gameplay.
Yes,
Do it.
please. I mean, I don't mind the new visual design. I just don't think it's a smart idea to let people know what it used to look like, you know? Like, visually, this does look interesting, right? It at least looks more unique than something like fucking Concord, right? Like, at least this is visually, like, unique. I haven't seen something really look like this. Or at least not much.
Marathon.
Compared to Concord, where it's like, Concord just looked like a bunch of, like, games I've seen before just mashed together.
Of Tau Ceti 4. You are a runner. A cybernetic mercenary who's given up their human form for a biosynthetic shell with unique abilities and stats, capable of both tactical and fast-paced combat. Here you'll fight in a crew of up to 3 players across a variety of zones and points of interest. You'll face rival runners in zones of up to 18 players, countless security forces, and otherworldly threats. To scavenge the remains of a lost colony for glory and fortune. The environments of Tau Ceti 4 are filled with weapons, materials, and equipment you can scavenge throughout the map. Before deploying, you'll strategically build your loadout and select a runner to ensure you're equipped for the run ahead. Your objective is simple. Get in, gather as much loot as you can, and make it out alive. Die, and all your gear will be up for grabs. Survive, and your loot can be taken into future runs as you grow in power and fill your vault. Death is inevitable.
Okay, looks like they're
It's
taking the
never the end.
Tarkov
Think
approach, which I
quickly on
don't
your
like.
feet and outplay your opponents. And in your next run, you and your teammates will be the ones coming out on top.
I don't like the
And even
Tarkov
if you're
approach.
down on your luck, factions can sponsor you with a fresh loadout, so you can
Oh?
get right back into the fight.
Oh, hold on.
Bungie
Maybe the
brings its
factions will be what I'm
best-in-class
looking for.
first-person multiplayer action to the forefront. Dynamic and tactile gunplay. Runners with unique playstyles and customizable builds create highly dynamic and strategic team fights. Whether you're on a zero-to-hero run or high-rolling with powerful gear, you'll need to use your best judgment when you decide which fights to pick and how. Because no matter how geared you are, players with skill and strategy will always have the edge. Marathon is designed to be played in crews, with contextual pings, shared objectives, and down but not out, to streamline playing with your friends. Death is not the end. And if you're the last one standing, you can overcome the odds to revive your teammates and get out with your hard-earned loot.
Okay, so that's
And if you
definitely
believe
taken
your
from Hunt.
skills alone are enough to conquer any challenge, we give you the freedom to opt out of crew fill to take all the glory for yourself as a solo runner.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No 2 runs in Marathon ever play out the same. With dynamic events, variable weather, and unpredictable players, you'll have to adapt on the fly if you want to survive. Each run has a time limit, and anything can happen while you're chasing your objective. Looking to unlock upgrades or increase your faction reputation? Slip into the shadows as Void and ghost past your enemies. Search the map for rare materials.
Nobody can
and
strategize? I don't know.
opportunities.
Because when you're playing Hunt with people who know what you're doing,
Want to
strategy
push
comes a
enemy
lot
teams and
into
steal
it.
their loot?
And it seems
Bring
like
in
the
glitch,
sandbox, they are
agility
taking inspiration
and
from
buzz,
Hunt,
and your strongest
which is good.
weapons to
That's what they
disrupt
should
rival
do.
crews. Running support for your friends, grab extra equipment, shield charges, and a specialized backpack to be the lifeline they need. You're always free to experiment with team compositions,
and the only limit to how you want to play your runner is your loot and imagination. Endgame challenges, ranked play, discovering secrets, seasonal storytelling, community events, and more all await you in Season 1, where you and your friends will start to unravel the mysteries of Tau Ceti 4. Remember, you're only ever one run away from your next big score.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anyone should be playing.
It's a decent amount of gameplay.
I don't think anyone should be playing extraction shooters with randoms. I think that's just a bad idea.
So, I think for starters, again, you know, as we touched on before the break, Bungie has such a rich history with Marathon. You know, Joe Cross, from your standpoint, facilitating this gameplay with your art style. Again, what was it like, kind of approaching this from your perspective? What were you looking to do?
You know, build on the legacy. The narrative of Marathon is incredibly rich and like
I feel like this
inspirational,
game is
easy
more
sort of
not designed to be the
inspiration
next
for
big thing.
art.
I think it's
I also
designed to hold people
love
over
just sort of having
until
the
like
keys to this-
Destiny
to
3.
this-
I
to
honestly
this
think
car,
that's
from, you know, from
that's
this
where
era,
we're going.
working
I
on
feel
the
like
game
this
from
is like
era.
a
I
hey,
love older games. I love
Destiny
older
3 is
games. I
going
love
to take
the
time.
PS1, PS2 era.
So here's a smaller scale
so
game
there
that we
was a lot
can
for us.
update more easily to keep
and,
you,
like I said, paying
you know,
homage to
satiated
some of
until
some of
that
the great
releases.
Sort of iconic artists of the time. So
Yeah, and also we had some keen-eared folks in chat. I think it's Joey Wolfinder asked if this is Ben Starr. Yep, Ben Starr was the narrator of that piece. Excellent ear.
Great voice.
Oh,
yeah,
really? Yeah,
very
Ben Starr.
cool, yeah.
Wonderful voice.
He's almost an Andrew Witz, but he does his best.
GTFO was a weird
But,
game,
all right, I'm
Spectre,
gonna-
because
I'm gonna
like
put you on the spot
that
with
is
a tough
Sega, that
one.
game is
Josie
really
Wheeler.
cool, but
Who's
that
your
game is
favorite
so
runner?
ridiculously hard that it's to the point where I honestly think
Uh,
GTFO is kind of
I played a
unfun to
variety
play.
of them, but I will say probably the one I ended
And
up playing the most
I gave it
is
a really fucking big
Blackbird,
try.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Any Blackbird mains out there?
Yeah, Elden Ring
I
Night
like
Raid.
playing
Yeah,
Blackbird
exactly.
because it's a great
Actually,
crew runner. Like it's in terms of being able to provide a lot of information, provide a lot of support. It's also a great runner that's kind of helps to counter.
I don't think he's trying to be into Helldivers because Helldivers is not really an extraction thing. And Helldivers blew up in a way the devs were not expecting. You know.
So yeah, there's a lot of versatility to how you can play it.
Very fun. Mr. Witz, I think you and I share the same main. I got to ask as
I
well.
don't think Pwn's
who's
gonna
your
play this
go-to
game.
runner?
Yeah, they're not
I
gonna play
split my
anything.
time
They
between
don't play
Locust.
games.
I'm a very
I thought we knew this.
push-forward kind of player, as Joe reminds me all the time, because I'm pushing too
I don't know.
much.
So far,
have a W key,
I like
it
the
just
aesthetic.
goes.
The
I
gunplay is
love
gonna
to
be
go
good
fast
because it's
forward,
Bungie,
that's
but
right.
I'm not
And so,
really.
like, yeah, that push forward game.
Nothing's wowed me so
right?
far.
Being, like,
There's
the first
so far
trying
it
to
doesn't seem to
pick,
be an
you
X
know,
factor
seeing
apart
somebody in
from
position, going for
sci-fi
that pick.
hunt.
Also, I like to play glitch a lot too.
And I think
Again,
I'd
like,
rather
really love that
just-
disruption play-style. I love
Oh,
just
okay.
finding,
I see what you mean, Klessy. Okay,
like,
yeah,
a
yeah,
bunch
yeah.
of enemy
I think you're
crew
right.
Trying to exfil, trying to extract, and then like taking like the arm cannon and just knocking them out of like the zone, and now they're trapped with me. And hopefully,
I
my
want to know more
teammates-
about what they said about
I'm
faction
scanning.
providing you a loadout, because if that's
I'm looking
there,
for
that's
enemies,
that
yeah.
does make me more interested in playing it.
To that same end, actually, as you guys kind of.
But if it's literally like
Destos
Tarkov,
in
where
chat
you have
asks, what's
to
the pacing
extract
tolerance
with
to the game
gear,
there?
otherwise you have
Any
to go in with
movement or
nothing,
traversal
I'm
mechanics?
out. I'm
There
sorry,
are
Tarkov's a
lot
bad
of,
game.
movement and traversal mechanics inside of the game.
The only reason people like
but
Tarkov because it
varies.
was
Your
kind of the
effectiveness
first.
varies.
Same thing with fucking
Yeah, like everything in like we're making
Player
like
Unknown's
like a survival
Battlegrounds,
sandbox, which means
PUBG.
everything
Like
kinda has to have
that's
a
kind of the
cost,
first one
right?
that
And
blew
so,
up.
Like going,
but it's not
if you wanna
particularly
go
good,
Fast, like
you know?
if you want to go fast, like Locust has like a super sprint, so to speak. Like they have leg jets that kind of come on to help you sprint even faster. That causes heat. So basically, it's almost like a stamina system, but we call it heat because we're these awesome mercenary cyborgs, right? Where like the body overheats, and so this character has like some mobility, but you overheat quite a bit. So that's kind of the cost that's there, and so that's what pushes us into like finding implants that maybe like expand like how much like your heat meter, and also give you more agility, so you can even go even faster, right? So yeah, there's a lot of cost in the game in terms of when we place a mobility thing in there, we really want to make sure. It's like, how does this affect the pace, and how does this affect the overall survival sandbox?
And to be fair, we're still looking at the alpha builds. We got to balance a lot of stuff because some stuff is kind of sketchy. Yeah.
No, it's.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't trust modern Bungie when it comes to balancing.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
really
and actually,
they
while we're
as
talking
later
about
half
those
of Destiny 2
finer
showed,
details,
they're
Witz, I'd
really
like to
bad
still
at
kind of
it.
bug you a little bit.
They're
The
really
marathon
bad at
crafting
fucking
is a
at
big
properly
deal.
balancing
What does that
stuff.
mean in the world that you guys are building?
Yeah, and so like the runners are essentially like a base, right? And so each runner has, they have a bunch of implants that you can kind of find that do kind of wild things, and like as they go up in rarity, right? There's a lot of stats, so you can increase your resistance to certain things. So like Tox is one, so you can essentially
so the
poisoned,
hunt,
right, for Tox, and
perk-
so you
perk
can
system.
build resistances to that. You can increase your agility. There's shields, obviously, to make you a bit more durable. We have cores. Cores are really cool. They basically give you like extra passives. And at the base rarity, like they have these kind of passives that you kind of play around. At the highest rarity, they are specific to the runner kit that you have, the runner you're playing. And what they do is they really augment your abilities wildly, right? So you can, you're doing one thing and then you get like a cord specifically for glitch, and now you're like, oh, my double jump is a triple jump?
Okay,
That's how
this
much you wanna
sounds
push
interesting.
that, so that gear really matters, and so builds.
If they can make this
are the
perk system as
like
varied as it
completely
is in
the
Hunt,
implants, the
this
cores,
might be the
weapons,
thing that
weapon
actually makes it
weapons
work.
have like a pretty cool progression too. We have gold mods, which are kind of like the highest.
Because
end
Hunt
of
has
the
a whole
attachment
bunch of
pool.
weird
They're
perks
essentially like
for very specific
exotics
things that
in
do
our
really
game,
weird
right?
stuff.
What
Like
is the exotic
there's one
version of this
called
Magnum that can do some wild stuff.
oh my god, what's
So
it
yeah,
called?
like, really
I
it's
think
the
it's
entire
called
package together
Farsight,
is what the build
where
experience is in
normally in Hunt, when you're hunting a
Exciting.
monster,
Actually,
you have
to
to
that same end, we
go
got a
up to
question
the
in chat
flute
as well
physically
from
and touch it.
Firex is how you pronounce
But
it.
this allows
How
you
many
to like
players
grab
are
it
gonna
from
be
a
in each
distance. And then there's stuff like Gator Legs, where you move faster in water. You don't distract like
people have
Hunt
seen
has
a
stuff
lot of
like that.
Dire Marsh.
So this is kind of like that, but
we
more
support up to 18
intense. This might work.
There's going to be room for a lot of play styles.
But I'm
to
going
that
to
same end, I
need
know
to
we
see
talked a
how
little bit about
far it
Void
can
earlier
actually
as
go.
well. Lars, can you walk us through maybe just your play style when you're approaching any of these runs?
Sure, yeah.
Let's go ahead and sell out the best strategy.
I have to give away my secrets. So Void is really fun for me because it leans into this part of my personality that is like very devious. And so, if you go on a run with me, I'll be like, hey, any claymores you see, let me know. And I'm putting those in my backpack, and I'm doing crazy things like, okay, so Void has a prime ability that sends out, I think you saw it in the video, it sends like a wall of smoke that sort of like your home base when you do that. It's a portable. Because when you go in that, you become invisible. You get automatic active camo. So I'll do things like set that up to make people believe I'm doing one thing and then do another. So a lot of subversive things.
Okay,
I'll
but
go in there and I'll
do you
claim
stay
more
invisible
inside,
when you
right?
leave it, or you're
Someone
only
comes in
visible
after
when
me,
you're in the
can have a
cloud of
very
smoke?
bad
Because if you're
time.
only visible when you're in the cloud of smoke, people are just gonna fucking
but I
shoot
also do things
through
like
that
I'll
smoke
go
and just
to
kill
a
you.
place in the zone where there's high tier loot, and I'll claymore it up, and then close all the doors and leave, and be like, I wonder if anyone's gonna show up. And then sure enough, maybe 5 minutes later, I see the shield crack in the HUD, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, no, like I said, fucking Destiny's
go back and see
track
what's
record
going
with
on.
nerfing and bouncing
yeah,
was
that's how I
fucked.
like to play.
It's just because they couldn't figure out how to separate the PvP pool with the PvE pool. It's fucking
well,
frustrating.
If you know me, I'd rather look good and lose. So I generally pick the runner with the coolest helmet, and in this lineup, I think that's clearly Blackbird. As far as my play style, I'm typically just a decoy. So
It's like, Joe, go over there.
yeah, exactly. I am
Look
the
really
worst.
great.
Yeah, exactly. Just stand in the open
Yeah.
for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the end of my run story.
Fair. Well, we want to thank you all for your collective sacrifice. We appreciate it. So actually, to that same end, obviously we do a lot of play testing here internally. Wits, I know you mentioned you've got a folder of some of your best plays, but what are some of your most memorable runs so far?
Some of my memorable runs are really when I think I'm going to be doing one thing, right? Like, okay, I'm going to do a contract. I'm going to be going here. I got to go into this room. I got to interact with this device. And I think it's like I'm safe. Like I'm kind of doing like a routine thing. I can get in and get out if I'm like smart about it and really kind of listen for what's going on. Like,
Okay,
there's no
so the
UAC
mission
around,
system.
There's no players around. And oftentimes there's another player. Like the best moments is there's another crew that are going for the exact same thing. And there's this moment of like you're about to turn the key to get into a locked room, and then the other team is right there, and you're like, oh crap. Like, and then you're like, this is all out war in like a hallway that seems to be like a regular hallway, but now it's just like it just gets crazy. And so I think those are the peaks that happen where there's these tense moments you're trying to do something that lead to these very quick crescendos where, these mercenaries kind of going crazy. Like all these players are jumping in.
You make it sound like you're playing so carefully, but you're not.
Listen, the tactics are happening fast up here.
Okay.
They're
It's
going,
just processing power.
they're going,
Is what it is,
the math is going. Like, it's happening.
It's improvisational, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like, I mean, runs can obviously entail a lot, but we also have a question from Sharky218. Is loot going to be just weapons, or is there going to be more for people to go after while they're out there in Tau City?
There's a ton of loot.
There's a ton of
loot. Yeah, there's implants, there's cores, there's equipment, there's
Grenades.
consumables. Yeah.
Okay, but extrapolate on that.
there's-
What do you
there's
mean when you say
grenades.
cores? When you say equipment?
We have a
That's
bunch
not
of different
specific.
types of grenades in the game as well that you can loot in the world. We have valuables. We have backpacks.
Yeah.
Attachments, weapons, materials, keys.
Okay, so
Also
valuables.
a bunch
That
of
tells me
food
there
that-
is going to
that
be
we're just- yeah, we
a
call
system where you
valuables,
can
but,
where you
like,
can
there's
buy
times
stuff
when
from
you're
your
running
gear
low on
for you to
money
gear
and
you
you're
up
like,
from your
I just need to do
factions.
a valuables run right now, and I need to pick up these things and get my money, into my space bank. So.
Space Bank, yeah.
That actually is a good segue from, and I'm not making this name up, Ballin' Hobo asks, what do I do with the loot when I extract? Like, why does it matter in the long run?
Yeah, there's a variety of reasons. So a lot of it was related to sort of our factions and contract system. But if you want to talk a little bit about that, Lars.
Yeah. I mean, we've got this entire system we call factions. You're doing contracts, they're like missions, and you are being greeted originally by AI representative because you are a mercenary. You don't really have allegiance to anyone. They are going to pay you to do these jobs, and so they'll give you these missions to do. And as you're doing these missions, like Andrew said, sometimes you'll run into danger. But the cool thing about, I think, a lot of the faction and the contract system is like you could complete the, download the agricultural survey from this one area on one of the zones, and you're doing the thing, and you've sort of done it. So even if you die, you've still made progress there, which I think is a really cool aspect of that feature. But then there's also this other meta layer where as you're working with the different factions, they allow you to upgrade yourself over time, and so you can increase your heat meter, you can increase your loot
Okay,
speed,
good. So there
things like
does
that.
need to be some kind of permanent progression
I was gonna say, you're
system.
trying to get as much loot as
Good.
possible to
Okay.
meet the challenge of the world. Right?
That's what I wanted to hear.
Like essentially, different missions get harder over time, right? Which means you want to have more loot on you so you can survive longer, so just in general, be able to do fight all the different, hostile entities in the world, like get through there's a POI on a zone that's heavily fortified by UESC and all of the different units that are there, the snipers, the assault units, like you want to be able to not only withstand that and players. So there's a lot of reasons why you want to get loot again.
And honestly, like a lot of the loot translates into things like upgrades, that you utilize through the factions. But there's also an in-game store called the Black Market where you can use a lot of your currency and things like that to actually re-equip yourself if you go on a bad run or to
Okay,
upgrade yourself
good,
if you need
good.
anything from
They straight up have the
that
hunt
space.
system.
So,
Good.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to get a lot of good loot out. I
Good.
don't think I'm ever short of reasons to get loot out.
I'm now much more interested simply because of that.
So sometimes extraction shooters also can be seen as kind of hardcore and maybe tough to get into. What are some of the things that you guys are doing to make them easier to dive into?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things that we could talk about. One is we are obviously investing, besides doing a little bit more onboarding in the front end so players can understand a little bit about what the nature of the game mode is. We're also doing a lot to make combat something that's a little bit more approachable, but also just equally as deep and have pretty wide things. But I think Andrew could talk about it, yeah.
Yeah, we want to make, this is like a Bungie shooter, right? We want to make sure it's approachable. We nail those fantasies. Every button press feels awesome, right? And so really trying to bring that kind of, morph the Bungie action game into in the survival space where, again, everything kind of costs something, right? Getting shot, you're not going to have a limb system where your limb's broken or anything, but you will, guns do stopping power, right? Which they can knock you out of sprint, they can slow you down, right?
Yeah, that's bizarre because
Status
two different
effects are still in the
studios, but hey.
And so if you
You
are
do
hit
you.
with a chem grenade, right, you're gonna be toxed, you can be immobilized, right, which really slows you down, you can be overheated, there's all these things, and that pushes you into using consumables and making sure you have an answer for these things that happen. So we're trying to make sure that you keep the depth of the survival game, but the approachability of the action game, right? And so that's how we're trying to marry that together. In addition to that, if you have some bad runs, right, and you don't have a lot of, you see your loot kind of going down, we have the sponsored kits, it's kind of talking in the video earlier, where it's a package of gameplay items like weapons or equipment or maybe a shield or something or consumables. That's kind of like the floor for what we think you can be really like you can be capable in the environment and actually like fight other players that actually are.
Okay, so similar to Hunt's preset hunters. Okay.
Even if you find somebody who's completed kitted out in like really high-end gear, because that's your payday, right? That's like the beauty of the moment of like, oh my god, I took this player and oh, they have the best shield in the game. Hell yeah, you know.
Yeah. Hurts. I mean, obviously, gonna be a lot of good pointers for folks at home taking notes for when they get a chance to get into the alpha. But we'd be remiss if we also didn't mention how a big part of what we do here at Bungie is working alongside our community, which is why we've also had the chance since about 2022 to work with hundreds of different creators in our community as well, to go ahead and get some of their feedback. So to those of you out there that have joined us, thank you very much for your time and your opinions. They mean a lot. But no need to listen to me talk about it. We actually just last week had a bunch of folks in here to go ahead and play test the very same alpha build that some of you will have a chance to join in on as well. So I vote I go ahead and let you tell them about it in their own words.
You kind of feel the blood pumping.
I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is. I don't know who that is.
This is a new world. This is a different take on an extraction shooter.
No! No, make that out! It's game changing. It is literally game changing.
This is such an exciting time for us. You are the first group outside of Bungie to playtest our alpha build.
I don't think I recognize a single person.
Look daddy up, let's go. Okay, I am ready and up. Whatever you two are. Yes, sir. Oh, we are bringing some money in this time.
Quick read.
Oh, you looking around? See
yeah, I'm see who we got in the raid with.
Wait, you'll lose all your gear if you disconnect?
Bio research is right next to us. You want to do the intercept? Yeah.
Oh, that's gotta
You
change.
just want to grab that real quick? Yeah,
Especially because it's a server-based game, that's gotta change. You can't do that. No, you can't do that. You can't fucking do that.
I didn't actually.
No. If someone disconnected the server issue, you need to revert them back to the state they were in.
For the gang, there is fall damage, and it is severe if you
There
drop
is. I got a mod earlier that like drastically reduced it though. So there are ways to reduce it.
I may have just exploded my kneecaps. If you dash,
And I'm familiar with how Bungie servers can be, especially on like launches of big things. No, you can't have that. In a game like this, you can't. Like, you can get away with that in Destiny because your gear is permanent. Here it's not. You can't do that. There's no way that's going to be in the full release if they're smart.
Sorry. Excuse me, sorry.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, still heading to field maintenance. Yep. Oh, I got AI over here like 20 feet.
Yeah, Chi is going to be interesting because Hunt, I would say, has a pretty good handle on it. And I think it's because Hunt is on consoles, unlike something like Tarkov. Like, that's the only reason why, like, I don't think Tarkov is a good game to play, because it's so riddled with cheaters and that devs won't do anything about it. And I want to believe that Bungie will be able to deal with it, because this is now this is a strictly PvPvE thing, unlike Destiny, right? Where, like, if you're playing Destiny, you're not playing PvP, you're most likely never going to encounter a cheater, right? But in this, you kind of have to, but at the same time, they haven't been the best with keeping that up. They're better than most. They are better than, like, they're way better than Rockstar, for example, who just don't do anything. Right? They just don't give a shit. In fact, I remember in Red Dead 2, if you report a cheater, you have a risk of getting banned for cheating. Not kidding.
Yep. That's a purple one.
Yep, the gunplay looks like Bungie gunplay. I just want to... I just want to see what the black market and the faction system looks like, and I want to see the lore, pretty much.
Big Grenadiers, yeah. They're pretty. What do you have on your little guy?
Oh, one of the guys you killed had just been weapons on him. Poor guy.
Oh, mechanics here. That's what we need, right? We're just
Yeah,
just mechanical status effect.
I'm using it.
Yeah, I'm inside with them. When you have the mechanics kit, it doesn't take anything. You're just good. Yeah. I'm unlocking the box. Yeah, dropping in big ones too.
We're hearing cheated and bleeded the PvE side. I don't really know how that would work, or how that would affect the player on the personal level. Honestly, I don't see how that would actually affect anything, because PvE is very different compared to the PvP. But like I say, I don't fucking touch Destiny anymore, so I'm like fully out.
I played one shield. There's a loot up there, huge absolute. Oh my god, I'm almost dead. I realised.
Where are they?
They're on the balcony, like south 200.
I got one knocked. I got one knocked.
Nice. That's
annihilated, dude. Oh my god.
On me. I'm out of ammo.
Yeah, I would say it's a self as you can.
There's a sniper.
Freaking no! It's a Brian! Kill him, he's a fiend, dude.
I'm coming to you, Ben.
Yeah, I see him.
Don't underestimate this guy.
Oh my god, that bitch! He killed two, I think it's 1v1. Ben, you knocked one, I knocked another.
Good stuff. I literally only have a sniper.
A unit is signaling for reinforcements.
Okay, the knock I had was way over here. I don't see anybody over there yet.
Raids, yeah, I can see that being a problem. Hopefully they're fucking working on that, because yeah, that's a no-go.
Tell me if they run.
That's a guy. Yeah, he's holding the angle at a distance.
Sniped a sniper.
Yeah, right on me. Just player. On me. Very weak up there.
Why are you in the toilet crowd? Don't worry about it.
I'm underneath.
Don't worry about it.
Are they where we got down?
Knocked one. Coming. Got one left.
I'll give it this. It's a lot faster than what I'm used to from extraction shooters, which is an interesting and nice change of pace.
I got no tags.
Because Hunt is very slow and deliberate, and this looks a lot more fast-paced.
Yeah, A1. Oh, is that him up there? Is he upstairs inside?
Yes, sorry, he was. Yeah, hear him. Where's that USAC?
No, you said guy right there. They were shooting something in here.
I think they kind of built a ringer group, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty confident.
They built God squads, you could say. I feel like we might be the God squad.
That was good. That was a good run.
Yeah.
We got knife some AI and grab some guns.
We can go to field maintenance.
Yeah, a loot container key. Isn't there one of those around here?
Yeah, it's right here.
Skibbity crab, true. Get the fucking trues in the chat.
Whoa! I knifed one.
I wonder if there's gonna be more melee options just to knife. That's the other thing Hunt has too, is that there's actually multiple viable melee options. You know, you could bring a knife, or you could bring a sledgehammer, or you could bring a saber, or you could bring a fucking samurai sword.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
Like, Hunt actually has a lot of variety in that regard, too, so I hope it's not just a knife.
Yeah. Yeah. Something's sucking me.
Stop sucking him.
I don't think the game can drop $100. I remember rumors saying it might be 40, which sounds about right. Because I think Hunt is $40.
I found a purple enemy. I heavy.
And if they want to charge for it, that would be the price that would make the most sense.
Yeah.
Especially because this is just not a large scale game. Like, this is very, very small scale.
Okay.
From what little we saw on the map doesn't really look that particularly big either. It actually looks smaller than Hunt.
LMG. I should take it, but I don't wanna.
But here, take
Oh,
this.
long
Take
shot.
this.
I'm saved. What's the question marks again? That are on the map?
Oh, I think those are the players, right?
Huh? Like
Like
this?
the cash players?
Yeah, I don't know.
Players.
I don't know. This feels like something. This really feels like something I have to get my hands on and try for myself. You know, this really feels like I'm not gonna get the feeling that they want me to feel just watching.
Purple shield, like knocked one.
I really feel like I have to actually get my hands on it. I think I don't remember if it was a rumor or if it's something they said that it was going to be paid. I don't remember because it was from a while. It was like from last year.
Prepare for increased hostile action.
Free to play would be the smart idea because it's no barrier to entry, right? And it'll give them something over. It'll actually give them an edge over something like Hunt. 'Cause like I said, Hunt costs money, right? Hunt is $40.
Very good.
So if you're like, hey, I want to play an extraction shooter game, and I have to choose between Hunt and Marathon. Marathon's free. That's gonna be a much better game, but that also means they're gonna have to go a lot harder on microtransactions for this to be actually, you know, financially successful.
Who had that?
So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
The big items, the big drops, the stuff that's like really high value, they're like, I have to get this out.
Yeah, I remember the rumor saying it was gonna be $40, which I think makes sense. Maybe $30.
No other extraction shooter like that where I could have that kind of gameplay.
When people find out about some of the secrets and stuff, they are going to lose their mind.
I think the biggest problem is that for extraction shooters, there are more bad ones than good ones. The only one I can say is I would say is objectively good is Hunt currently. I think DMZ is trash. Fuck it. Was that fucking Jeff Keighley? Wait. I just got fucking flashbang. Was that fucking Jeff Keighley? What? Huh? Go?
All right, so obviously having those creators in was a whole lot of fun. Getting to work with both creators and players alike has been a privilege. It's been a great time getting to set that up. And of course, I promise I'm not saying this just because I work on the social media team here, but if you head over to our YouTube channel, we have a full 20-minute version of that. So youtube.com/MarathonTheGame is where to find us. Also same with all of our other socials as long as I'm at it. But Lars, obviously again, like we talked about before that video, we're familiar with working with our community really closely, but have we ever done it this early or at this scale before?
So I've been at Bungie for a while now, since the Halo 3 days, and I think the thing, even since my time, we've been really good about is working with players, working with the community. It's something we take pride in. And on this game in particular, yeah, we brought people in, players in, much earlier into the process than I think we ever have before, and it's given us really good insight. You know, we tell them when they show up, be brutally honest, because that's how we learn, that's how we understand what needs to change.
That is a smart move on their part. That was a smart move to bring them in earlier on the development process so they can get it right sooner. I think that was definitely the right move to go.
With some of you playing as well, what was it like?
Oh, it was super exciting. Yeah, I mean, like when you have a lot of there was a combination of players.
Don't sound so excited, buddy.
Engaged with for a long time, and some players who were brand new, and it was great to see sort of like the mix of the both. Especially when you got to some higher level skilled players who just joined in and immediately got it and started destroying everybody, like Tens and Lupo was in there, and but yeah, you had some pretty awesome moments, didn't you?
Yeah, so It was pretty amazing to jump in, and I'm gonna throw Nick under the bus for a moment here. Like, apparently he was on the team with Brian and Jeff Keighley, and they were not having success. Y'all were like destroying them,
Clearly
the
Nick was the
creators.
problem.
Yeah, it's probably
I
your
agree,
team that
Nick
was
is the
destroying them. So I was brought in as like a hired gun to help get Jeff through.
Oh, Jeff
And,
Keighley being bad at a video game? Oh, call me shocked.
I did my job.
I do like that radio. That is something I would like to buy. Aesthetically, that shit looks sick.
Also, though, you were saying you were observing a little bit as well. Maybe not playing
If I
quite as
can
much.
connect that
What
shit
was
to
it
fucking
like, from
Spotify
your
or YouTube
perspective,
Music,
see all these folks jump
that'd be
in and
fucking,
play the
that'd
game
be
for the
actually
first time, some
perfect.
of them.
I mean, it was awesome. It's awesome like playing the game for so long, right? And seeing other people play the game is just a great feeling, right? For like the whole team. You get to see things that you designed for happen, and in real life, right? You see people who are like being hunted by other players that take refuge by like we're a heavily fortified area, and watching the UESC equalize a little bit. Moments like that was great. There was another fight that was like it looked so fun, but also hilarious, but also like really like it was like a great time, but also really tense. There was two crews that were fighting under the dire marsh map. There's a bunch of tunnels and stuff like that, and they were fighting in the tunnels, and the fight was literally like almost 1 by 1s, like 3 and 3, like constantly moving towards each other and fighting in the hallway. The person in the front dropping meds for people in the back and changing positions, and that fight went into like little vents as well. So it was like this it was this hilarious chase that was like it was super tense because you didn't know exactly whether you were going to get third party, and they were just the volume in the room kept on going up from those two crews because they were just like, when are they going to get flanked? There's another vent right there that could pop up from there, and they were shooting vents just like out of just pure paranoia. It was awesome to watch.
It's a good balance to strike, obviously, yeah. And you, again, we were mentioning you got to play. Were there any other creators you got to dive in with?
Oh yeah, I was on a team with Valkyrie and Katamina, and we had a lot of fun. There was like a couple moments where we bunkered down underneath a greenhouse in the tunnels underneath. Tunnels are dangerous, and they were fun. But we basically created like a little claymore nest down there, and so we were baiting them down into it. And yeah, it was pretty successful. I'm telling you, the claymore strats are good. Yeah. Don't sleep on claymores. They're
pretty
good.
solid.
Yeah.
Lars is like, I know.
Yeah.
So even in addition to these creators, the legacy of Marathon's community goes so long and goes so far rather. As someone who's played a lot of Aleph 1 in the past as well myself, back on my Titanium G4 PowerBook so long ago, bringing in the Aleph 1 team was really, really exciting. You guys got a chance to work with them as well, isn't that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting to sort of connect to the heritage of Marathon, right? Like to keep that alive as we're sort of building this new world. And so working with the Aleph 1 team has been really awesome with the Marathon Classic on Steam. Is the release that they had, as well as the Marathon Classic 2, I think, is on Steam as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of those, it's like sort of connecting the threads, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
Sort of remembering the past as we're sort of building this new, re-envisioning in a lot of ways of what Marathon is.
Yeah. Actually, kind of on this topic as well, about the dangers of the world, we do have a question from Twitch chat. Are there dangerous PvE encounters? Obviously, you've mentioned that the UESC is out there, and you should underestimate them at your own peril, but can you tell us a little bit more about maybe some of those emergent threats that await players?
Yeah, absolutely. There's the UESC security units that are out there. There's a bunch of different types that do different things, so watch out for them. We also have ticks, which are these wonderful, surprising, explodey fauna. Yeah, they run at you.
Yeah.
They run at you, explode on you, and you have to shoot the nests actually to.
So
get rid of them,
Titanfall 2
essentially,
ticks, but
otherwise they'll keep
organic.
coming. And there's a bunch of hazards and stuff that are like gonna be on the map as well. Like we have a bunch of like tox rooms and all kinds of surprises that await players. And in the alpha there's a few, but
what's
we got
the
a lot.
scariest UESC unit to you?
The scariest unit? The Ghost Commander for me, for sure. The Ghost Commander, their ability is like they go into active camo and they actually have clone. They have a bunch of like clones that go out there, so you think you're not sure which one to shoot. And then by the time you recognize which one is actually the real one, right, it's like it may be over for you. But that's one. The sniper, also love the sniper as well. We really want to have these prolonged sniper fights that are really great against the UESC. And if you manage to really push them and they notice you're pushing, they'll punish you for that too.
That clone system sounds
Just
interesting.
be careful of these units. Tread carefully.
Not to be trifled with, right?
And the recruits, honestly, they have this rush down that they do. If you're not too careful in knowing where they're going to be flanking you and rushing you down from, we're purposely making them these formidable foes that you can't get treasure out of the world easily, and they're guarding it, and they're doing a pretty damn good job.
And you can't ignore them either. Once they're on your set, you kind of got to figure out a way.
Exactly.
Also, too, we've got another question from, I believe, Shebsky. Can a team be composed of any number of runner types, like 3 blackbirds, for example?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
There's no
I
restriction on
really
how
feel like
you
they
can
should have put
assemble
all
your
the
crew. You
gameplay at
can
the
all
start and
play the
save
same.
this
You can
stuff for
create a name
afterwards
comp
as
if
like
you
the
want.
post string.
Or you can diversify a little bit, you know, and sort of try to use each other's utilities. But
Because I feel like they're not done showing gameplay, and just putting these sections in between is really
You may
grating.
never know, like those 3.
Like, we're getting more info,
players
which
that
is
are playing
good, but
Blackbird
I'd rather
have
be
very
hearing
different
this
what
over
they're
gameplay, you
gearing
know? Like,
towards in
visually
Blackbird,
showing
right?
it.
Like, they may be
Like,
some,
don't tell
some
me
of them, like, one
about
of
the
them may
tick.
actually have
Show me.
implants
Don't
that
tell me
allow
about the
them
clone,
to
the sniper
go
straps.
in
Show
active
me.
Camo. That's not a specific thing for a runner, so we're purposely trying to make it so that
It's really strange how they're just doing this whole tell, don't show
which is, like,
thing.
basically 3
Which
logos.
I would think
In,
they'd
like,
have
less than
gameplay
the
like
playtest from last
like
week.
I think you'd think they have B-roll footage ready.
So, you know, again, obviously, it's been so much fun to hear you guys even talking about this game and the experiences you've had. You've been building a world that's really ripe for players to tell their own stories in. You know, again, with the closed alpha on the way on April 23rd, as players finally get a chance, some of them to jump in, what are some of the stories you're most excited for them to get to dive in and maybe tell themselves?
So many. I mean, there's so many different stories that I think are gonna that we're looking forward to seeing happen, especially ones that we've never even seen before. But getting onto the planet, like honestly, just trying to survive amongst all of the different threats that exist there. The dying, you know, when our trail says death, it's death. You know, there's a lot of death in the game. The learning from it, the challenging yourself, the getting back up.
You just
and,
told
and
us
trying to
nothing
do
there.
Something new. It's gonna be exciting. I'm sure there's plenty of other things.
I'm curious, Mr. Cross. What are you expecting?
I mean, I'm you know, had the fortune to launch Destiny and now Marathon. It's always amazing to put something out into the world that you've been working on, you know, sort of in a bubble for 6 years or something like that, and have the players experience the visual world for the first time is amazing. Introducing the IP into the world, you know, sort of beyond the game. You know, sort of the culture it creates. Always excited to see like what the fans tell us what the game is and what the metas are.
Yeah, exactly. Their words have a lot more
so
weight
that
to me if we were
exchange is
seeing the
always
footage of what they're talking about in the background. Like they would cut through when they're talking about it. I think it's really weird that they're not doing
I'm
that.
just really excited for folks to discover the content and play with it in interesting ways. We've been making this meal for a bit. It's just time to see folks play. Right?
Especially if it's coming out so soon, you think they'd have the B-roll footage all done.
Activities and everything in the world, right? It's just going to be exciting to see.
I'm gonna say it right now, too. The game's coming out this year in September.
And learn from it.
Well, we're gonna play
I'm
in the closed alpha. That's not an alpha.
The crowd favorite, yeah.
That's not an alpha, and I'm tired of fucking developers using that word. That's not what it means. An alpha is years out before release.
Discord, let us know. We'd love to hear what you guys are thinking.
Absolutely.
But that brings us to just about the conclusion of what's been a very action-packed show. So for starters, guys, thanks so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.
I mean, thank you so much, and thank you everybody out there. Like, our team is literally sitting behind these cameras here, and they're amazing. Like, you know, you should give yourselves a hand, you know, for putting together. Also, there's an immense amount of staff here that has been super gracious and kind to come and help work with us on this. So just want to make sure all of you, let's give you a hand too. You know, you've been doing an amazing job. Thank you.
That's right. So again, as we noted at the top of the show, coming up at the very, very end, we've got a very special surprise. So go ahead and do yourself a favor and stick around all the way through till the end. But again, a huge thanks, Joe Ziegler, Joe Cross, Andrew Witz, and Lars Bach. And thank you all for being here today. And of course, again, to echo Ziegler, thank you so much to the entire dev team here at Bungie. Thank you so much for being here today. Whether you're here with us in person or you're at home, it's your contributions that make Marathon possible. So
they needed to go a lot more in depth.
Today. And again, of course, the crew here. Thank
They
you all
needed
so
to
much for all your hard
showcase
work.
the various
It's
builds
been
that they say are in the
incredible
game that
seeing
can
this stage
change your
come up
gameplay.
so
They
quickly,
need to
rather.
show the
So
faction and
thank you so much.
contract
It's
system.
been
They
an
need to
organic
show
effort.
how
It's
the
all thanks to
dynamic
your
and weather
efforts.
effects can actually
And
affect
most importantly, again, to all of you fine folks out there
how
for
you
joining us
play,
today. It's such
how
a
it
privilege
affects
for
the
us to
map.
get
They
the
did not
opportunity to share what we've been
showcase
working on,
any
and
of
it matters
that,
most when you show people
and
join us. We know
that's
you have busy
genuinely
days,
worrying.
And we're thankful to be a part of it.
It
So
kind
thank
of
you for joining
reminds
us here on
me
this Saturday morning.
of
And of course, to
Destiny
something at
1
the
when
end.
they
Stick
showcased
around
the
for a little
first
bit
public
longer. We're gonna
event
be rating
against
Sparrow
Spider
and
Tank.
Mr. Raffle Waffles
And there's like
Silo
12
out
to
there,
15 players.
here
This
just
big
after the show
event.
ends. So
Then
go
you
ahead and
get
tell
to
them we
it
said hello when you get a chance to drop
in
into
the
our
actual
chat.
game,
But
and it was nowhere
as has
near
become kind of
in that
tradition here
scope
at Bungie
or
with
that
our streams,
impressive.
we've saved just one more special thing here for you at the end. Now, we've told you a lot about the game so far, but we haven't had a chance to really touch on the narrative just yet, and we're really excited to build a story that's innovative in the extraction shooter space, both in and out of the game, and we'd love to show you a glimpse of that now. So we've had the opportunity to partner with Academy and Emmy Award-winning director Alberto Mielgo to go ahead and show you just a bit of a snapshot of what life is like on Tau Ceti. So
Alberto
we hope you
Mielgo.
enjoy, but in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see y'all Starside.
Alberto Mielgo, what did he work on? The Windshield Wiper, 2021. That's it. Okay. You know, I'm actually really looking forward to Firebreak. Firebreak looks great because it's in the Control universe, so there's a lot of weird shit in that, and my friends that are hyped for that. This looks fine, but nothing. They really need to go in depth. Like, the gameplay needed some kind of wow factor, and I feel like the builds and faction system could have been it if they showcased it, but they didn't. Right? Like, they just didn't showcase. They didn't go. They said, like, oh, there's exotic and gold tier things that can change. Like, oh, now my double jumps, now triple jumps. Like, but okay, show that. Oh, there's fucking ticks that run at you. There's enemy types that, like snipers, who will, you know, move. You get too close and things like this. And, like, you're telling me all these things, but you're not showing me. This really needed to be a full deep dive, especially with the fact. Also, this is a pretty cool fucking trailer. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know. And the fact that it's coming out so soon. Oh, and also the fucking what's it called? The weather system and the dynamic events that they're calling, which I'm assuming is just a public event system put into this from Destiny. But it's like, you needed to showcase how that works. But in all the extended footage we saw from those people you got to come in, none of them really experienced that. I think I saw one hologram thing and one sniper. And they didn't really challenge the sniper by getting closer and making him move. They just out-sniped him.
Whose frown and wrinkled lip.
But overall, I don't know. Visually, it looks. I like the visual style. I like the aesthetic. I'm glad that they're taking cues from Hunt rather than Tarkov or DMZ. But so far, there's not. I'm sorry, that's not enough. It's just not enough. Like, it's really just not enough. It really feels like this is just designed to hold people over until their next game. And I'm gonna be honest, too. They're talking about, like, you know, oh, interactive, evolutionary storytelling in the extraction shooter space. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this is the type of genre where telling a story works. I really don't think it works.
Mind if we skip the formalities this time? Got a big contract waiting down there. So
Understood. Let's proceed with your grounding exercise.
So far, this is the coolest thing. This fucking animation by this guy, by the Spanish director. This is the coolest thing. But I know the game's not going to be like this, because there's no single-player component. Right? Like, this is not what the game is. So this is just fluff. I guess I'll be interested in listening to the lore from My Name is Bife. Okay, trying to Discord? Nah, I'll wait. I'll wait for, like, the open beta. Like I said earlier, like, gameplay-wise, it's gonna. I need to get my hands on it. It really feels like a game I need to get my hands on and see how it feels. See how the actual matches play up.
Can you identify her?
yeah, that's my mom. That's your mom.
Now, consider this. Do you recognize this?
Yeah, and if Destiny has taught us anything, is that Bungie's really good at creating lore, but not really good at storytelling. Like, even their best stories, like Taken King, like Witch Queen, like Final Shape, and Forsaken, like, those are all, like, either before or after some of their worst stuff. You know? Like, I think the lore will be interesting and good. Like, I will stand by, like, Destiny's lore alone, I think is worth delving into. There's a lot of good stuff there.
I don't know, but I like it.
Like, there's a lot of great stuff in there.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I think the issue is, like, especially with Destiny, like, the lore can only enhance the game by so much. And I don't think that's going to work for a game like this. Because you're on a time limit. You're on these locations for a very limited time. So you can't just sit there and enjoy it, you know? Like in Destiny 1, in the Taken King, right? Like, being able to go on Oryx's ship and just fully explore a hive ship for the first time at your own pace was interesting. And was engaging. But you weren't locked into an arbitrary time limit because you had to extract or other players hunting you and things like that. So I feel like for this game, I don't think the lore is going to help carry it as much as it does Destiny. I really don't think it will. Why did she do that? Yeah, this cutscene lasts longer in the game, but you're right, Grizzly, yeah. And like I said, this is a cool fucking thing. But this, they should have opened with this. This should have been the opening. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they should have ended with this. I think that was a bad idea. Because this is actually interesting. But once again, this is like also like, I don't know.
And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remain. Nothing beside remain. Round the decay of that colossal wreck. Round the decay of that boundless and bare. Boundless. The lone and level sand stretch far away.
And like I said, because it's coming so soon, the gameplay should have been way more in depth. I'm repeating myself now, but like, it's really strange that this cutscene is longer than all the gameplay we've seen combined. Because there's no deep dive. And this really should have been a deep dive. I mean, this was what? An hour? Right?
Do you recognize this child?
I don't know. Is that me?
Yeah, I don't know. Looks fine. It looks fine. It's really missing that fucking wow factor, honestly. It really is. And I think missing that was a major mistake. Chat, what are your thoughts? I mean, I know you all gave it and we talked about it throughout, but like I'm just curious about final thoughts. So most aggressively okay looking game I've seen? Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like they should have just made this a co-op roguelike. I feel like a roguelike would have been better than an extraction shooter. And I know like roguelikes are saturated today, but like I don't know, the extraction genre is not... So the problem with the extraction genre is it is not a mainstream genre. It never will be, because what it asks of the players is often too much, right? It's way too hardcore for the most casual people. And they even talked about, you know, they said like, oh, we're going to work on onboarding to get people who are maybe not as hardcore into it. And I'm like, I don't think the onboarding is a problem. The problem is this is the type of genre that's just too hardcore for a lot of people. So, like, you'll have it. If it launches well and it plays well, like, you'll have a fan base for sure, right? Because like Hunt is a fan base. Tarkov for some reason still has a fan base. Even DMZ kind of exists, right? But it's not gonna be a massive hit. Like, it's not gonna be. You're not gonna hit Destiny levels. You're not even gonna hit Destiny 2 levels. You're not even gonna hit Final Shape levels, because this is just a type of genre that is just too specific. It's a lot like immersive sims. You know, like immersive sims are really great for a very particular type of person, and those types of games never do gangbusters. Same thing with survival horror. Unless you're Resident Evil, survival horror games, generally, if they're really good, you'll see like 1 or 2 million sales, maybe 3 million. Because it is a very particular type of game. And I would put extraction shooters into that genre. But even more so, extraction shooters have already lost their craze. The only reason Hunt is even still around, honestly, is because it was the first, I think it was the first one to come to consoles. Like, the gameplay is good. I like Hunt a lot. And the aesthetic is great. But like, Tarkov is permanently on PC and on their own client. DMZ for Call of Duty came out after and no one liked it. Like, I'm genuinely, there's Marauders on Steam, right? Like, there's Marauders, but that's early access. Ironically, the most interesting extraction game I have played so far, belch, is fucking Witchfire. But Witchfire is a completely single-player experience where you are going in, defeating monsters, and gaining power to increase your level, right? And tackle harder challenges. Black Cobra has been a member of the Crustacean Nation for 21 months. Thank you for the support, my man. But also, that's early access. But the crazy thing about that is that Witchfire's gunplay is very, very close to Bungie's gameplay. Like, there is an assault rifle in that game that you get, and a revolver in that game that feels like a hand cannon or an assault rifle from Destiny. Like, straight up. Oh, Black Cobra for the 2. And don't forget, Hunt is on Game Pass as well. This is true. This is also true. So, like, that barrier to entry also, like, increases that. But I don't think Hunt has crossplay, so that's the other thing, too. So, like, you know, it's just because someone's on Game Pass doesn't mean, like, oh, I can play with my PlayStation friend, I can play with my PC friend. So, if this has crossplay, that will definitely help it, I think. Not to mention DMZ had pay-to-win skins, didn't help. That's right, it did. Ultra Kill's gunplay is more fun. Ultra Kill is a very different type of game, though. That's a character action boomer shooter. Whereas Bungie's gameplay is very tight, very methodical, and the hit response and the feedback from the sound of the gun, from the feel of it, from the recoil. Bungie has perfected that, I would say. So there is that. Marathon might be on Game Pass. It won't. Dude, they may be independent, but they're owned by their parent company is Sony. That's not going to be. Sony's not going to let them put that shit on Game Pass. It may be on PlayStation Premium. It's not going to be a bust, but I just don't see it being the next It game. Exactly. I agree, Vanguard. Yeah, no. I don't think it's going to fail. It's not going to be Concord. I don't think it's going to be Concord. Because aesthetically, it is interesting to look at. It has Destiny gameplay. And depending on the price point, will probably be a lot better. But it's not going to be the next big hit that Sony's hoping for. Helldivers was an accident in terms of how big it got. It's probably going to be $40. It's probably going to be $40. Because that's how much Hunt is. And Marauders is in early access, and that's $30. The single player game Witchfire I've been talking about is fucking is $30, but I think that price is gonna no, that's $40. I want to keep talking about it, so we're going to swap to gaming. I might load up Hunt. Not Hunt. I might load up Witchfire, so you guys can actually see what the hell I'm talking about. Let me see if I have it installed. Damn it, I don't. Can I download it and stream it? I'm not doing it. I should be able to do it. Yeah, okay. It shouldn't take too long. Because it's hard to explain what Witchfire is without properly showing you. Because it's a weird game. It's a really, really weird game. It's already 33% done. What? Get just used to playing more fun, unique FPS games. Hence why Marathon's so bad. I don't think you're wrong to say it's meh. It's definitely meh. But I also think it's I don't think it's fair to compare an extraction shooter gameplay to a character action like Ultra Kill. That's all I'm saying. Like, for example, I think comparing Ultra Kill to Turbo Overkill makes sense because they're both the same type of game, right? They're both like over the top, high octane boomer shooters. Right? That makes sense. But like you wouldn't compare like Titanfall to I don't know, something like Rainbow Six, right? Because like it's two completely different types of shooters achieving two completely different types of objectives, right? So I feel like if we're gonna criticize Marathon, which I think there's a lot to criticize, we have to make sure we criticize it within the realm of its genre because it's a very specific genre. If that makes sense. You do need to play Turbo Overkill. Turbo Overkill is great. Oh, let me actually change the name of the stream so we can say, like, after discussion. Let me actually do that so, like, it's not, like, still saying, oh, Marathon reveal, because we're not on that anymore, right? And I don't feel like stopping the stream yet. So, let's see. Live. Where is my silly little stream? I hate the fucking YouTube mobile app. It's so fucking dog shit. So fucking shit. Hope Marathon is deck playable. I don't think if I'm playing it on PC, I'm not gonna play that shit with a control scheme. That just seems like a death sentence. Of course, it's gonna be entirely dependent on how good it feels, right? Because to be fair, there are situations in which you can fight PC players, right? So, like, that's not impossible. It's definitely not impossible. But okay, so let me change the stream name to Talkin' Marathon and Lane Witchfire. We'll call it Post Marathon Stream. I don't even know what to change the fucking title to. So this is just very specific. Then I'll fucking change it back once we're actually done. Okay. Crab, yeah, totally. How did we get in there now? Hello, did you do a vid on Nintendo Switch 2? No, I'm still waiting. Because more and more information keeps getting put out. Like, and like, my entire initial rant that I recorded the day the Nintendo Switch thing came out now has to be overhauled completely. Because of, A, there's some new changes that they added in. There's a lot of wrong information. But also, there's a lot of worse information I need to cover. And at this point, I'm just like, I don't have time. I just don't have time for it. Which is annoying, but hey, that's where it is. That's where we are. Where is Witchfire? Witchfire is about halfway done. So, not too bad, so I'm actually live streaming as well. Anyone else got anything else they want to fucking bring up? Because otherwise we're just going to sit here in silence, and that's kind of boring. Like May 8 may be the new pre-order for the Switch 2. I don't give a shit. I'm not pre-ordering that shit. Nah, I'm not giving them their money. And I really do think people need to stop giving them their money. Like, people will complain about this, but then they'll buy it, and it's like, you are literally the problem. I'm at that point where I'm like, you are literally the problem. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like I said earlier to some guys, a joke, and it was still a joke, but I do, like, think that if you buy an $80 game, if you agree to sub to Nintendo Switch Online to pay for chat a year later, then you are quite literally part of the problem, because you are actively rewarding the company for something that they shouldn't be rewarded for. And I really think how the pre-orders for Mario Kart go, I do think it's going to reflect GTA 6's prices. And if GTA 6 is $100, so here's the thing. GTA 6 is $100, right? People are going to buy it because it's GTA 6, right? But then you're going to get a lot of people, a lot of companies to say, hey, GTA 6 did it, so we can, we can up our money. But here's the thing. You're not GTA 6. You're not Rockstar. Hell, when Sony raised their $70 prices, they did come out and say that they saw a lower total... They saw a considerate... excuse me, I can't speak. A considerate decrease in overall game sales because of the higher price point. So, like, Rockstar could probably get away with GTA 6 being $100 because it's fucking Rockstar. Ubisoft can't get away with that. EA can't get away with that. Sony and Microsoft definitely cannot get away with that. Hell, there are some games from Microsoft right now that I don't think are worth the price they're sold for. Like, what's it called? Avowed. That game should have been $40 to $50 max. Because it is a very small, very good, but a very small AA experience. And that game is not worth $70. It just straight up isn't. And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if there would be another video game crash. Oh, it's going to happen. If $100 games become the norm, and because the economy is heading towards a recession, yeah, there's going to be another crash. Companies are going to fall. But unlike in the 90s, the indie feel is going to be fine. Smaller scale companies like Focus Interactive, they'll probably be fine, right? But like, I do think within maybe like 10 years, EA is not going to exist. Ubisoft's definitely not going to exist. The fact that they subsidized a part of their company to Tencent and had for their like 3 biggest franchises, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and Ghost Recon, that just tells you all you need to know. Oh yeah, Ubisoft is not going to exist in 5 years. I do think they are going to dissolve. I want to do a video on Switch 2 and I'll wait more till more info comes. Yeah, exactly, because the problem, more info keeps coming out and it keeps contradicting the previous info. So it's like, it's not even a good time to really jump. I mean, you could jump on it for the algorithm, sure, but like, I'd rather make sure I have all the information. But also with my job, it's actually hard to find time to record and edit. Let's see, is Witchfire done? Witchfire is almost done. I will say too, be prepared for the PS6 and whatever the fuck the next Xbox is, Xbox Prime or whatever the fuck. That's just gonna cost $700 to $800 like minimum. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care. Like, I have a PS5 because I have a lot of games on the PS4, and this is before crossplay became more prevalent. I have friends I played with on that system, right? So I have a PS5 because a lot of my games I still actively play run better, but also before crossplay and cross progression became a more standard thing, that seemed like the right thing to do. But I don't see myself getting a PS6. I don't see myself getting an Xbox Prime. If Switch reduces their stuff, like walks back half their shit, maybe. But even then, eh. Yeah, I have Kill Knight in my Steam family library. I should boot that up. But I've also been emulating a lot. Witchfire's done. Cool. So I'm actually... Because Witchfire is an interesting game. So it's important to note that, one, this game is still in early access. So the thing that sucked about this was that this game actually came out a year ago. But they took the money from Epic to make it exclusive there. Supposedly during their early access period, right? But the problem was they didn't actually reach full like early access. And I think it's because no one bought it there. Because people don't like that fucking service, you know? Why isn't Witchfire popping up here? Xbox app, search... What? Outlook Mail? What? That's not... If I do this... Okay, you're just not gonna fucking... Okay, you're just not gonna fucking work. Cool. And I can't tab into Witchfire. Alright, off to a great start. It just keeps fucking blacking out. Off to a great start. Alright, cool. Thank you, Witchfire. Trying to showcase a game I like. And you're just not working with me. This is very cool. Is this thing even fucking running or did it crash on startup? Are you even launching? I'm gonna fucking end the task and fucking restart it. Because what the fuck? Okay, so before I fucking alt-tab to get it on the screen, I'm gonna fucking let the game actually load first. Because I do like to do that. You do like to be an annoying little piece of shit. What, did you crash again? I think it actually crashed again. Okay, there we go. Jesus H. Christ. Okay. Alt-tab. Why is this just not popping up here? It's because the audio's appearing. There we go. Christ. Okay. There we go. Why the fuck is it so big? Why the fuck is it so big? What the hell? There we go. Oh, right, because I was streaming Rivals. Right. Duh. 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 Right. Move that up like that. There we go. I'm like to get. It is an early access game, to be fair. Like, it is an early access game. Plus, I think downloading it while on stream was a little risky. Okay. So basically, the way the game works is you're going to be going back to this little base of operations here. As you level up and level up your, I guess, what's it called? I think it's called, I think it's called Ego. I think it's called Ego. Basically, you'll unlock more parts of the map, right? Then you can come here to the workshop to build stuff. But this is an interesting fucking game because, like I said, it is an extraction shooter. It is a full-ass extraction shooter. Except it's entirely single player. And the thing that has me playing it so much is the fact that it does seem to be completely... The gunplay feels a lot like Destiny with like spells and shit. So we're going to do an expedition. I think they just added a new area. Not Witch Mountain. Yeah, Iron Gate Castle. And that requires Gnosis too, which I don't have yet. So I'm going to take us to Scarlet Coast. That's a little harder area. And basically, the way this works is, much like an extraction shooter, you have a little zone, and you have areas to go into, right? You have, like, ammo chests, fucking spawning enemies, and bosses, right? And as you level up your Gnosis, you'll unlock more secrets on the map. And that's kind of how it works. So this is kind of what I think Marathon should have adopted as well. Like, having the PvPe component makes sense to keep the game functioning, right? But I do think the it factor they would have had over something like, once again, like Tarkov or like Hunt, is if they had a single player section like this, right? Which they do not have. So let's see, where am I? So let's go over here. But I think it's really funny that Bungie's coming out with a new extraction shooter game, yet here is a single player one where the gunplay feels a lot like a Destiny game. There you are, buddy. Wait, what was that? Rosary? Protected by a Calamity Hex, from an old relic, aged with black magic. Pick it up. Power might bring unknown dangers to you. Sure. Pain breaks my focus. Okay. So right now I'm using a sort of I'm using a fucking, you know, a fucking bolt action rifle. And as you level up a weapon, they'll gain unique perks or unique quirks, right? So for this gun, when the longer I aim, the more that little icon below it lights up and the more damage I do. Right? Or you get something like this revolver, which actually, what does the revolver do? Oh, I actually don't know because it's a brand new weapon I haven't gotten yet. I haven't unlocked it yet. But like this alone, right? This is a early access single player game, and I think this is infinitely more interesting than what we've seen of, unfortunately, of fucking of Marathon, because they did not do a good job like showcasing why I should play it over Hunt or this, other than the fact that it's sci-fi and it's Bungie, right? If Marathon's full price, if it's $60 or $70, that's just dead on arrival, straight up. I think that's the one thing that will kill it. It cannot be a full price game. Like, it just can't. It straight up can't. There is no fucking way. No goddamn way. That would be insane. That would actually kill it, I think. Straight up. Now, what's in here? Phasmophobia. I haven't played that game in like a year and a half. And it is I know it is a completely different beast. Maybe for Salt Shakers, if it's more... I don't remember if it's 4-player max or more. Because when it comes to Salt Shakers, we generally want games that have at least more... At the very least 6 players. 5 to 6 players. Like, that's just the ideal thing for us. That way, no one's left out. I mean, granted, if there's times where only 4 of us can make it, then obviously those 4-player games come into play, right? But generally, we want to look at that. So if Phasmophobia is like that, maybe that's something we should do. But I also feel like that's something that would make sense during Halloween. You know? I saw you, motherfucker. Where'd you go? Where the fuck did you go? Yeah, I do think $40 is still like a little too high, but I do think you have a better chance of getting people in because of the Bungie name if it's 40 compared to if it's 70. Like, it'll have a higher chance for sure, but like if it's 70 or 60, like, no, that shit's just dead. Straight up. That's not gonna work. Like, you can't price your shit higher than fucking Concord, you know? Remember Helldivers 2, Ben? See, the problem with that, Jacob, is that, once again, Helldivers 2 was an accident. The devs were not expecting the game to blow out the way it did. It just came out of nowhere. I was looking forward to the game for months because I loved the first Helldivers. I remember people constantly shitting on it whenever it appeared. Saying, oh, this looks like trash. This is going to be a fucking failure for Sony. And all of a sudden, oh, look at that. Now it's a big hit. Yeah, it's almost as if I knew what I was fucking talking about. But, like, it was a surprise. The devs were not ready for that influx of players. Which is why the servers were fucked for so long. Like, so I don't think that's a good example to say, like, oh, just because it's $40, hey, that exploded, so why won't this? Like, it's, once again, it's not, Helldivers isn't in a genre that's as intense as extraction shooters. Like, Helldivers 2 is intense, but you don't lose anything if you die or if you fail a mission, you know? You really don't. All your gear you always keep. Like, you don't, like if you drop your fucking assault rifle in Helldivers and you fail the mission, you don't lose access to that assault rifle, you know? It's still in your inventory. What's going on over here? I don't know. I do think overall that I think Marathon's going to perform okay. It's going to sell because Bungie name alone, and despite everyone's like real and deserved grievances of Destiny 2, Destiny 2 was a game that fucking held in the cultural zeitgeist for 10 years. Like, despite of the actual problems that most veteran players like myself are aware of, most people just know, hey, Destiny 2 was a thing that the people enjoyed. And this looks like their new thing. They're going to get into it. But as Vanguard said earlier, is it going to be the next hit game? No, I don't think it is. Marvel Rivals is the current it game. And unless they fucking fall off real hard, which I would be very surprised, it's probably a foreseeable future. Which is first familiar? Familiar, Veiled in Darkness. Emerging when the witches service our personal land or when the deep calls. That is a new system. Hold on. Something actually spawns now. Oh, isn't that interesting? Oh. Where are you? Like I said, like this handgun really feels like a fucking handgun from Destiny. Like it's almost 1-to-1 in terms of its feel. Like the actual tactile feel of it, like it feels like a fucking Destiny gun. So I have high hopes for this game when it eventually comes out of early access. But I do think it's kind of annoying that they spent a year in early access on Epic Games only to come to Steam be like, no, we're still in early access, we barely got anything done. So like I'm a little worried about how this game's gonna turn out. Which is why I would say maybe don't buy it just yet, unless you're really interested in what you're seeing here. Because I got this game October of last year. We just got the third area, like, I think last month. Which is kind of crazy. Yeah, it's on Steam. That's why I'm playing it. Because it's on Steam. That's what I said. Okay, I'm actually gonna extract earlier just so I can show you guys what the actual loop is like. Oh wait, I have a Rains here? What? Did I die here last time I played? This is also that's the other thing that's nice about this game. It has a Dark Souls corpse run. So if you're like, oh, I fucking got fucked over, you can go back in, grab your stuff, and get out. So there is a portal, I think, over here. So we're gonna go back there. Pretty much, yeah. Wait until actual release. Pretty much. Unless you're like really itching to play it right now, like I was. Because like I said, this has been satisfying my Destiny 2 gunplay itch. Because like I said, nothing really feels like Destiny. And this is the closest. This actually does feel like really good. Like, let's put this into perspective. Hades 2 entered early access after this game, and it's going to launch at 1.0 later this year. Like, something ain't math in here, you know? And the team puts a lot of work into it. Like I said, the animations are good, the enemies are fun to fight, the environments are gorgeous, and there actually is a good bit of lore you can find. But, like, I don't know. It feels like their output on this game is slower than it should. Yeah, I think they said like console's not gonna. They're not even considering console until full release, which makes sense, right? Like, that's usually what companies do, unless you're like a big team. Like, generally, that's just a smart way to do it. Did this fucker slow me down? Thank you. What the hell is this? Oh. Yeah, we're not dealing with that. There it is. So basically, you go in here, you find items of value. When you kill enemies, you get the currency, Witchfire, hence the name of the game. And you can use this to level up your actual character. Right now, I have, what, 26k? So if I'm able to extract with this, I'll be able to keep this. And I can actually use it to empower my character. As well as potentially earn and obtain new guns or trinkets. Like your there's also different types of prayers. So I'm using the guy who kind of is like more of a hybrid between firearms and magic, which is why I have 2 spell slots, which feels good. I like him, but he also I think he starts with lower health and lower stamina overall. Man, I'm getting hungry. Mercy, I do believe I'm fucking starving. So escape successful. So I killed 63 enemies. I got no events. I got almost no chests. But I got 26,000 Witchfire and 22 treasure, right? So that's nice. And I got some research done on my gun. So we just fucking go up here to the little altar, and then we can upgrade our character with vitality, healing, basically Dark Souls stuff, right? Which, if you play Dark Souls, you know how this works. So we're going to upgrade my endurance to 15, because I like dashing. Then, I wonder if I may have enough, I may have killed enough to actually enhance this gun. I did! So let's see what this thing actually is. Reloading grants 1 charged bullet for each critical hit before the reload. Charged bullets deal increased damage. That actually sounds pretty good. So all weapons are like this, basically. So I think... How do I fucking change weapons again? It's been a while since I actually loaded this up. Do I just select it? No, I need to visit the gun room. Which... Oh, it's right there. Perfect. Like, there's a good variety of guns, I'd say, in this. Like, so far, these are all the weapons that I have. Right, these are the 2 standard ones, but then you get to your special weapon, which I only have 3 so far, but hey, pretty good. Then you have, you know, your spells and shit, but my point to show this is pretty much just the fact that it's strange that they want to jump into an already exhausted genre where there's really only one successful PvPvE when they could have actually overcome this one. Because this is still in early access. Probably going to be in early access until 2026. Right? And yet, they could have easily fucking get ahead on this and be like, hey, if you're someone who's not really interested in the PvPvE aspect of Marathon, here's a little single player section that has a lot more story stuff if you want to learn more about the world, and with your own separate, you know, progression system. Now, I really think that's what they should have done, and they didn't. I just wanted to showcase that because I think, like I said, it's a weird game that I like a lot. But, you know. Let's see. Bungie Marathon will be a fully priced premium product. Bungie's going to launch a full price called the Battle Pass, 3 maps, 4th map arriving short. Oh, it's dead. Wait, but now Paul Tassie's saying it's not 70. Not even close. So, it's probably going to be 40. It's probably going to be 40. Like I said, you'd have to be really fucking stupid to charge $70 for an extraction shooter. Like, you have to be really stupid. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait for actual information before I even say anything about that because, meh. Anyway, we got a little extra fucking talking in there, right? Oh, it's Kami? Yeah, that's not reliable. It was just one guy. Well, that's the thing, Spectre. That article seems confidential. Like, it says premium it said, like, the quote he said the Marathon's going to launch their premium product, which means players will have to pay full price. That's not what premium means. That's straight up, that's not what premium means. Premium just means paying a price. Like, a free-to-play game is not a premium game, right? But a game that costs more than that, like $40, that is a premium game. I don't know. We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. That was a stream. That was something. Next time you'll see me will probably be Monday night for Monday Night Monster Hunter at like probably 6 p.m. That's gonna be a standard thing, and then obviously Friday nights will be Salt Shakers. We still haven't decided what game to play, so be ready to hear information on that. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for the folks who stuck by after the stream, and obviously, of course, thank you for the super chat and the support. I really do appreciate it. I always do. But with all that, I will see you guys on the next stream. Talk to you guys later.